This game is going our way, and we force and we impose our will on the other team, and that's probably a little bit of what's been we got to get over that hump here, that we mentally are strong enough to just push ahead and get what we need to get done.
One last one, you mentioned in the Between the Buns show earlier in the week that certainly a strong effort by your team in the 5-2 win over RPI a couple weeks ago, but maybe that wasn't quite. And each team has ebbs and flows. That may have been a bit of an ebb for them when you played the Knights back in early February.
Yeah, I expect. I didn't think they were overly physical, and on tape they have been physical. So that I don't know what. It just was one of those nights that we were fortunate. We got a couple of face-off goals that just right off face-offs. I think we might have had 3 that night. They had a couple pipes, so it could have been a different game. But that night for us, we finished and we did some good things in the game. We skated well. I thought we came through the neutral zone with good speed that night. And that's something we got to do here tonight with them. Obviously, I think that was a plus for us in that game. But it's just one of those nights where when you handle a team the first time, they'll have their hander up. We'll have their edge to us. We'll get their best shot here tonight, and it's good. It's playoff atmosphere here. We got to get this thing done so we get back to Chill here next weekend. And we're looking forward to it.
Coach, thank you very much, and good luck tonight.
Thanks, Bobby.
Golden Knight coach Casey Jones here on the pregame show as the Golden Knights get set to face off here against Rensselaer. One of 6 games to conclude the ECAC hockey regular season. Cornell at Brown, Colgate at Yale, Princeton at Dartmouth, Quinnipiac at Harvard. Big game for the Harvard Crimson. And St. Lawrence down the road at Union. Clarkson's women playing today. Earlier in the day on the women's side, Quinnipiac blanked Princeton 7-0. Harvard beat Yale 2-1. St. Lawrence is at Cornell. And Dartmouth, of course, is at Clarkson University in women's. ECAC ice hockey. So the Knights tonight looking to snap out of a 4-game winless skid. Have not won since they bested RPI back in early February, a 5-2 win. In that game for the Knights, again, Coach Jones with some fortunate bounces. A.J. Fossen scored a goal to put the Knights up 2-1, and a shot that bounced over the shoulder of the goaltender, Jason Kasdorf, off of one of his teammates. That was his first of the year. Then Summers got a power play goal. McGowan answered, but the Knights got too late. Danilo or Aslan on a rebound of a McGinnity shot, and then Danilo scored from Summers late in the period. That made it a 5-2 win for Greg Lewis and the Golden Knights in net. Tonight, the Golden Knights set up this lineup: Zarbo, Gervais, and Pat McGinnity. Jeff Danilo, Yannick Aslan, Nick Pirog, Troy Joseph, Sam Bigno, and A.J. Fossen, Todd Christian, Ben Dalpe, and Christian Powers in the net, or up front. In the net tonight is Clarkson's Steve Perry. .912 overall save percentage, 1.93 goals against, 7-7-1 with 1 shutout. Geyer and Summers, Tanzi and DeHaas, Amorosa, and out for RPI tonight. Milos Bubella, Zach Schrader, and Victor Liljegren. Drew Melanson, Mark Miller from Massena, New York, Lou Nanny. Jacob LaLiberte, Mark McGowan, and Matt Neal. Jake Wood, Riley Bourbonnais, and Jimmy DeVito. Bradley Leonard, Curati, and Bell. Jared Wilson, and Michael Propavesis, the guy he impressed us in his contest against Clarkson back in February. Propavesis got a lot of ice that night. Thought played very well for the Engineers in that game as they announced the Engineers starting lineup here tonight. They moved our broadcast location. Those of you I talked to, we used to be up top, and I mean up top, above the stands. Now, they moved us into the press box area, and certainly it's a different look. As Kasdorf gets to start in goal for RPI tonight. We are down with the regular press in the stands. Used to be up top and above the ice. So kind of a neat way to do things, but that has changed. A bit safer is our broadcast location. That'll do it for the pregame show here live from Houston Fieldhouse in Troy, New York. Coming up next, it is CSEA Clarkson Golden Knights hockey. as the Golden Knights face off against the Engineers of RPI. You're listening to CSCA Hockey on B99.3 FM, Potsdam.
Sounds like the newspaper's here, honey.
Yeah.
So, are you going to go out to get it?
Well, I did it last time.
No, I did it last time. It's your turn.
All right, I'll get it. Toss me the keys to the forklift.
Okay, that's good. Now, set the newspaper down on the table so I can read it.
For those with physical limitations, accomplishing simple daily activities that most of us take for granted can become painful and challenging. Whether you're struggling with a new or chronic condition, Canton Potsdam Hospital's experts in physical, occupational, and speech therapy will work with you to improve your functioning. We even have specialists in vestibular rehabilitation and orthopedics. Schedule an appointment today in Potsdam or Canton and get back to living. cphpt.org. Canton Potsdam Hospital. Caring beyond medicine.
Ready to head over to St. Lawrence Federal Credit Union, honey?
All set. Wait, you're wearing pajamas.
I thought I'd dress appropriately to get one of their comfy home loans.
Okay, I'm sure they'll be impressed. And bunny slippers, too. Adorable.
Visit St. Lawrence Federal. They have great fixed, adjustable, and short-term mortgage rates to make you feel very comfortable about getting into your dream home.
I'll drive.
Why?
Because you're wearing a sleep mask.
St. Lawrence Federal Credit Union. Equal housing lender. Federally insured by NCUA.
The ice and snow are brutal. Lives are at risk. Ruben is a snowplow driver.
It's pretty dangerous out there. Trees might be dropping limbs, blocking roads.
Plow operators like Brian are highly skilled.
We've had some real bad snowstorms where we worked right around Clarkson.
CSCA members like Ruben and Brian are clearing your roads for safety to give you the edge on ice. When you see them, slow down, be patient. Give them room to give you the edge on ice. A safety message from CSCA.
Hey, it's Nina Blackwood. This week on Absolutely 80s, I've got an 80s icon who's the dad of 14 kids, a rocker who used to work in a mortuary, and gruesome news from Dead or Alive. Plus, the Fine Young Cannibals, Kane Gang, Journey, and the Human League, only on the next Absolutely 80s.
You can check out Nina Blackwood's Absolutely 80s every weekend on B99.3. Your home of the Clarkson Golden Knights, B99.3 Sports.
And now we direct your attention to center ice, where the Rensselaerics will sing the national anthem of the United States of America.
Strange, but that's being played here at Houston Fieldhouse. Clarkson set to face off here against the Engineers of RPI. Clarkson needing a point tonight to secure home ice for the second straight year in the ECAC playoffs. And looking to either host and likely could be RPI again, could be Union, could be Brown as well. We'll see how things shake out tonight and tomorrow. Clarkson played well against RPI of late, not obviously against Union. Steve Perry, the Nets to our left. Knights in the Road greens, trimmed in gold, green helmets, gold and white shoulders. RPI home whites, the RPI crest on their chest. Red helmets. We are just about set to get underway here from Houston Fieldhouse. It'll be Miller against Gervais in the faceoff. Gervais, McGinnity, Zarbo, the Hawes and Tansy opening faceoff brought to you by Casella Waste Systems. We are underway. Knights moving from left to right, nothing behind Kasdorf, chased by McGinnity, right wing corner. Around the net he comes. McGinnity up the wall, left wing, so leaves it deep now for Gervais. Gervais up the boards, Alex the feed in front. He'll shoot towards goal. Kasdorf drop safe. Rebound, McGinnity, pass across. Knocked out of the air by the defenseman Bradley Bell for RPI. Knights press inside RPI territory. RPI had power play problems in the game in Potsdam. Zarbo looks to dig right wing corner, pulled free by Bell. He will flip to the line, not out, cut the line there by McGinnity. Good shift for the Knights off the bat. Kirati at the wall, poked to DeHaas, pitching from the right point down the ice. It comes down. RPI's Nanny will play it in behind Steve Perry. So good chance for the Knights off the bat. They're just underway and no score here. 19-12 to go out from Janik Aslan, right wing side, off the boards for himself, knocked away off the skate. Aslan in offside. Leonard will possess. We'll go across for Chris Bradley. In the neutral zone, Schrader back to it, to his own blue line. Now left wing side, they'll reset. Back on it is Leonard. 18:50 to go, ramped into Knights territory. Icing waved off. Howden and Amoroso back to it. Left deep for Amoroso, given away in front now, side of the goal. Chasing it, they are the Liljegren. Turns around and pass across, knocked down by Amoroso's skate. He'll bring it behind his net and retreat up and out. Amoroso through center, will gain the red line, backhand a deep up wing corner. Aslan peels off and changes. A minute and a half gone in the first. There is no score in the contest. Propavessis to his left for Neal in on sides around Kelly Summers. Geiger back on it. Neal bumped along. Joseph's to it. Ali Berthet in there as well. He had the game's first goal. Did Ali Berthet in pot and poked along for Fossen for Joseph's out of the zone. Knights on it. Joseph left wing corner behind the goal now. Joseph up the left wing side. Rolls it back to left point. There's Geiger. Geiger towards the net. Tip save. Rebound to the high slot. Poke free for Neal. Stolen here by Fossen towards goal. Fossen hold, shoots. Save made. Batted out of the air by Fossen in the left wing corner for Joseph. Off his skates. Out come the Engineers with some numbers. Now good chance for Fossen there in Kasdorf. A big stop here in period number one. Rolled in behind Vigneault now, chasing inside RPI territory. Vigneault bumps his man along the boards. No call. RPI wants a penalty. And we get a whistle. Finally, they call Vigneault. On the penalty. He bumped the man from behind, but a late call here from Joe Carasoni. Oh, they're calling an RPI player as well, I believe. Wilson and Vigneault each get the gate after the play. Penalties come during 4-on-4 action here at 2:23. Boston had a big chance moments ago thanks to RPI TV. Gervais and McGinnity in below the goal line, right wing side. Fans arriving late. Picked out of the zone for Geiger, onside for Miller. Miller towards net, a shot. Rolls it wide of the Clarkson goaltender Perry. Off the pile. Liljegren waits left point here. Leonard now will have to take it off the boards and out.
2 minutes, 23 seconds. 21, Clarkson, Vigneault. 2 minutes for boarding.
Boarding on Vigneault.
Rensselaer, 2 minutes for embellishment.
Embellishment was the call on Wilson. That has a boo from the fans. Out come the Knights left wing. Long pass ahead for DeHaas from against the onside. DeHaas carries below the goal line in behind the RPI net. DeHaas now cuts back against the boards to the right point now. DeHaas moves to the right circle. DeHaas to the high slot. Looks for a backdoor pass, looking for a cutting Joe Zarbo. Howden off the boards and deep, leaves it deep for Zarbo. Knights change 2 players. Zarbo behind the RPI goal now. Looks to the right point for Amoroso. Wrister tipped by an RPI stick over the goal. Donnell on the left wing corner. No score in the game here. Donnell forced to the boards. Out comes RPI with it. A left wing brought ahead by Mellinson. A shot blocked by Howden's skate. Bubella back in front of his own bench here. RPI almost had too many men. Bubella will play it in behind. Icing will be called on the Engineers. 16:21 to go in this first period of play. 4-on-4 has 43 seconds to go in it. No score here at RPI. Face off in the left wing circle of the Knights move. Josephs and Todd Christian out right now. On the face-off against Bubella, Knights will lose the face-off. Chipped in behind for Curati. Curati spins back and delays here with now 34 to go in the man-up, or the 4-on-4, I should say. No score in the contest. Out comes Curati. Cuts to his left, around Christian. Curati in on sides. Curati looks for a backdoor pass in Hole's left corner. Bumped in behind here for Liljegren. Out in front for it! Walks out of the corner and beats Perry. And Liljegren gives the Engineers a 1-0 lead. .407 in, and Liljegren gives RPI the 1-0 lead. Knights had a chance with Fawcett after a giveaway. Leonard now in on side, goes around Perry.
RPI goal. Was scored
to the right wing corner. To the right point it comes now. Shot toward Perry, tipped, save made. Down on the other rebound, there's save made. And it's Danilo behind his net. Left wing side is Geiger in on side. He'll roll in behind and get through 2 checks here. Geiger bumps his man Leonard. RPI pulls it free. Off the boards and out. 7th for Liljegren. The Haws across the rink. Nobody there. Knights were changing. Now Bradley at his own blue line. In wide of everybody. Icing is called. We'll break. 15 minutes left to go first period. 1-0 RPI to score. This is CSEA Golden Knights hockey.
Features a bold start and a smooth finish.
Scott's Auto Center in Potsdam. Stop by for a test drive and let Larry Martin help you save thousands on a low-mileage, nearly new vehicle. And for service, Scott's Auto will keep your vehicle running better and longer. Scott's Auto Center, by the bowling lanes on Market Street, Potsdam.
Knights lose the face-off in the RPI and 1-0 RPI in the lead. On the goal by Liljegren. A nice goal for his 7th of the year for the freshman. The Haws hooked down in the neutral zone and a penalty coming on RPI. Knights get a power play. After the Haws stepped up and a hooking call in front of the RPI bench against the Engineers. 5:12 is the time of the penalty, and it's called on Jake Wood. Knights on their first power play, hitting strong of late on the man up of this unit, especially Summers, 6 goals.
RPI penalty.
And now a penalty coming in RPI again.
Jake Wood.
High sticking is going to be the call on RPI. Knights get a 5-on-3, and this is like a full 5-on-3. High stick called on the Engineers on Leonard. Well, here's your game right here for the Knights. They get 2 quick power play chances, and they win the faceoff. 5-on-3, DeHaas gives it away. in below the goal line, wraps off the linesman. DeHaas keeps it free. RPI takes it away. Girardi will play it back into Clarkson territory. DeHaas with the pass to Nell, and he didn't see it coming. 5-on-3 for a minute 38. Here comes DeHaas. Onside for Pirog toward the net. Pirog, right point for DeHaas. Left side for Summers. He'll handle and hold. Summers. Right wing corner for Aslan. Up top for DeHaas. DeHaas back for Aslan, and he and Summers were colliding. Summers in the pass from Aslan. Summers for DeHaas. Back for Summers. Summers. Right wing corner pass ramp for Donnell. Off on RPI. Donnell off the boards. Will possess and hold. Left point pass for Summers. Summers up top for DeHaas. A shot well wide of the goal. No shots on goal yet in the 5-on-3, minute 3 to go in it. Up top it comes now for the Knights. Summers. Right wing corner for Aslan. He'll drive at the net now. Move away. Aslan up top for DeHaas. For a shot and a arm save made by Kasdorf off the inside of his mitt, up and out of play. Big stop by him. 2 big stops by Kasdorf. So 54 to go in the first power play, 58 to go in the second power play. 1-0 RPI on top. Knights have a 5-on-3. Zarbo Vigneault wins the face-off. Geiger, Tansey, and a shot off the backboard looking for Fossen. Fossen will try to pump it back, and he can't do so. RPI tries to clear, and they are able to. Looking across here for the Knights. Tansey or Zarbo in on sides, right point. Zarbo delays and holds. Left point pass for Tansey from Geiger. They'll reverse now. Geiger, right wing corner for Zarbo. Zarbo looks away from the net now. Zarbo will carry that a high slot pass up top for Tansey. The reverse. Tansey to his right. Tansey a shot, save, rebound, and a goal! Fossen scores on the rebound of a Tansey shot in the 5-on-3. He ties the game at 1 for Clarkson here in period number 1. A.J. Fossen getting hot at the right time. A power play goal for the Knights. Fossen in front on the rebound. I believe Zarbo will get an assist as well, but a power play marker for the Knights. Tansey an assist, and maybe Joe Zarbo also. Knights back to 5-on-5. Ramped around behind. Left wing corner. Zarbo will poke it back to the corner. Deep for A.J. Fossen from Vigneault. Vigneault ties up right wing corner. Knocked away to the right wing boards. Back it comes for Tansey. Tansey to his left for Geiger. For Fossen! One time shot off the Hoslow stick wide of the goal. RPI changes one player now. Zarbo holds right wing corner. Zarbo looks for the right point. Shoots towards Kasdorf. He makes a save and hangs on. 6:51, the Frenchies forward time of the Knights. 5-on-3 power play goal. It's Fossen from Tansey and Joe Zarbo. A power play goal. And the Knights have tied the game at 1 apiece. Right point on the face-off is between Howden and Amorosa. Amorosa will roll in behind Kasdorf into the right wing corner of RPI zone. Up the long here for Joseph. He's tied up by Neal. Delpe bumps along, Powers. Powers doesn't ride to the point for Howden. Off the boards and ahead. Loved that by Neal now. McGowan moves it ahead, pulled free by Delpe at center. Delpe flips it at Kasdorf, and he short hops a save. Kirati back into the line, stopped by Howden. Neal backhanded along the boards, is played back out by RPI to the Clarkson blue line. 12 minutes to go in the first, game tied 1 apiece. Amorosa. Backhands flip in behind. Knights change D and 1 forward here as Christian in under pressure. Out comes Melanson for RPI. His pass in front of his bench, pulled free by McGinnity and Gervais. Rolled in, it's Kirati back on it, inside his blue line, left wing. Long pass ramped wide of Perry, chased by Miller against Clarkson's Kelly Summers. Pumped along by Miller is Summers to the right point. Leonard a shot back on the front. Turnaround chance for RPI now as holding is going to be the Engineers. Lou Nanny pulls it back in behind from Miller. Out in front, it's off Perry's glove. Loose puck now, out come the Knights. Zarbo, 3-on-2 if they realize. Zarbo in on sides to his right now for McGinnity into the right wing corner. Back to it is Curtis Leonard, bumped along by the Knights, Pat McGinnity. Knights change D here. Melanson up ahead for the Engineers, and Nanny Hill roll deep for an RPI line change. 11:10 to go, 1-1 the score. Out comes Clarkson's Kevin Tansey. Dumped into RPI territory. Back on it is Wilson. Up ahead for the Engineers is Schrader. Back in the line for Tansey. Off the boards and ahead, giving away to Schrader right wing side. Off the boards and out comes Danilo, no, he doesn't. Played back in deep, into it is Zach Schrader, right wing corner. Tied up behind the Clarkson net by James DeHaas. Game tied 1-1, a 5-on-3 power play goal for Fossey. On the corner, takes a shot, and a pad save by Perry. He will cover up and hang on to the rebound with 10:39 to go in the first. Keeping the game tied 1-1. Shots 8-2 in favor of the Golden Knights. There's two guys that have walked out in front there. Perry that time made a better save than you think on Liljegren, who scored the game's first goal for RPI. St. Lawrence has the lead at Union. Right wing face-off now as the Engineers have an offensive zone draw, as asked to leave the circle now is Vigneault, Fossen, and Josephs. Josephs will replace. One to the right point, Papavesis. Rolls it in behind, Howden back on it. Giving away around the goal here. Players jam away out of the corner. Pass across the short side, save made by Perry. Loose puck around the net comes from Bubella. Bubella, right point it comes. RPI left side for Wood. Wood towards the net. Rolls a wrister wide of the goal. Bubella right wing side, tied up by James Howden. Liljegren gives it away. Fossen to his right, out for Vigneault. Vigneault on his feet, off the boards for Josephs and outside. Josephs waits, plays it deep for Sam Vigneault. And back to it are the Engineers and Jared Wilson. It's a 1-1 game, stolen at center by Amorosa. He'll flip back in behind into the right wing corner of Engineer territory. Halfway through the first, Liljegren a goal for RPI, and Fossen a 5-on-3 goal answering for Fossen, his 5th and 4th in a row. He's gotten the last 4 Clarkson goals. Long pass down the ice here as icing will be waved off. Geiger back on it. Played behind the net for Kelly Summers. Summers stick tied up. Pirog has it for the Knights. Pirog into his man, left wing side, brings it out of the zone. Pirog to the red line, knocked away at the blue line. RPI the other way now, looking for a long pass ahead, rolled in behind. As back on it is Perry behind his goal as DeVito waited over the goal line. Right point it comes. Knocked back for DeVito behind the Knights goal. Bourbonnais behind the Knights goal. Out of the circle now. To the right point, Bourbonnais, high slot, a shot towards goal, pass saved by Perry. Leonard, a shot across the goal mouth, and missing the tip of the back door was DeVito. Out comes Aslan, he can't win it. Kept alive by RPI here, good shift by them. With it is Raleigh Bourbonnais, stolen here by the Knights, and a penalty coming on RPI. It's going to be Aslan, waiting delaying. Aslan holds left wing side. Aslan looks for a trailer, looks to the cross, and his touch will break. Knights going on the power play, 8:50 to go in the period. 1-1 the score. This is CSEA, Golden Knights hockey.
The North Country deserves a better selection of new Fords to choose from, and that selection can be found at Frenchie's Ford. How about a new 2014 Ford Taurus SEL? MSRP on this one was $30,007. Now take this one home for just $23,700. Frenchie's Ford, 216 East Order Street, Messina, or visit FrenchiesFord.com.
Bourbonnais called for hooking at the 11-10 mark. Knights a chance to go up by a goal, 2-1. Sorry, Bourbonnais, I should say.
Time of that penalty, 11 minutes, 10 seconds.
Bourbonnais the penalty. Out come the Knights. Vigneault left wing. Through center, Vigneault in on side. Tries to drive towards goal. Win it past the cross for Fossen! And the net came off the moorings. Fossen's shot below, from his stick was above the goal line, body below the goal line. The net came off as an RPI player hit the net, not on purpose. And the save was made anyway by Kasdorf. Same unit out here. The Knights tried to change D, I guess. It'll be Summers and DeHaas with Vigneault, Zarbo, and Fossen. This is not the unit the Knights have together. 1-1 the score, 8.5 to go in the first period of play here. On the face-off, it's poke free for A.J. Fossen. He's slashed at by Curati around the RPI net. Players fall now. Loose puck, Summers and Vigneault. Going to dig it free. It's going to be eventually pulled free by the Knights. Played in behind by Joe Zarbo. Vigneault slashing at it, won by Curati, and he'll bounce it back down the ice. Knights will change forwards now, 1:18 to go in the power play. 8:05 remains first period. Clarkson 1, RPI 1. Brown up at Cornell, 2-zip. We're leading Cornell at home. DeHaas out of his territory. Drops it back off for Dano. In on sides, high slot for Pirog. Right wing corner for Aslan, back for Dano. Up top for DeHaas. Back right side for Donnell. Moving away from the goal. Donnell finds Aslan in the right corner. Back up top now for DeHaas to his left. Summers a shot blocked. That was read very nicely by the Engineers. The net has come off the moorings again. Near Jason Kasdorf. Summers has scored 3 goals from that very spot. RPI had that scouted very sharply. Face off left wing side. Knights win it. Summers left point across for DeHaas. DeHaas under pressure will bounce along for Donnell. Donnell up the right wing boards. High slot for DeHaas. Dangerous pass for Summers. Left point for DeHaas. A shot tipped wide of the goal by Aslan. Aslan looking for a wrap. Aslan will carry it. Left wing corners. Pass off the skate back onto the zone. 25 to go in the next power play. Left wing pass for Donnell. He will retreat and put it onside for Pirog. Pirog to his right for DeHaas at the right point. DeHaas brings it down the boards. DeHaas holds right half wall. James DeHaas to the high slot. Carries. DeHaas was up to Richard towards goal. Pad save and the rebound out the right wing boards. Amoroso kicks it off the boards and out of play. And the faceoff will remain in RPI territory. Kasdorf now has 9 saves on 10 shots. 4 seconds remain in the Clarkson man up. Win the face-up for Howden. Right point, a shot. Never got thrown in the feet for Gervais. Couldn't find it. Won by Clarkson's Joe Zarbo. Up top for Howden. Howden, a tip, and a goal! Pat McGinnity after the power play expires. McGinnity's tip over Kasdorf's shoulder. The power play expired. Howden shot for the right point. Finds McGinnity, and he scores. And Clarkson takes a 2-1 lead. McGinnity's tip after the power play expires gives Clarkson the 2-1 advantage. (13-17) time of Clarkson's goal. They lead 2-1 here on RPI. Holding behind Perry here. Amoroso back to it. Lifts it along for James Howden. Up the boards, kept alive and out for Gervais across the blue line. Luckily for the Knights, Bubello hooked up by Zarbo, rolled back in behind. Knights 2, RPI 1. Zarbo to his right. Amoroso in on sides, looking for McGinnity there, offside for the Knights. And we get a whistle. Joe Zarbo, 2 assists tonight already.
17 seconds. Clarkson goal by 32 McGinnity. From 23 Howden. At 27, Zarbo at 13-17.
So Zarbo now, 2 helpers. And the Knights D, and now they're going to call a natural offside, not an intentional offside.
Jerry's proud to support RPI hockey.
2-1, Knights in the lead. Rolled back from the blue line, given away from Miller from DeHaas. Miller to his right. A chance for the Engineers to reset. And now Nene shot towards goal, set, passing rebound, and Perry made the initial stop. But after the offsides call, giveaway set up by the hustle of Miller. And it's Drew Melanson getting the goal. DeHaas ran into Perry. Melanson able to get the loose change to pass across. Now 2-2 the score. RPI is a puck poked out of the zone by Josephs. Kirati back on it. Puck down by Vigneault. Josephs in offsides. Vigneault smartly doesn't touch.
RPI's second goal was scored by number 25, Drew Melanson.
Melanson the goal. Flipped over the head of Geiger.
Assisted by number 26, Mark Miller.
Miller an assist.
23, Lou Nanny.
Knights dumping in left wing side, inside RPI zone. Neal back to it. Game tied 2 apiece here. Fawcett behind the RPI net. Pulled free by the Engineers. Knocked away from Josephs. Amoroso back on it with Bourbonnais chasing, giving away right wing side now. DeVito towards the goal for Bourbonnais behind the net. Bourbonnais hits it left wing side. Bourbonnais has time to the left point for Leonard. He'll take a shot. Goes right. A shot blocked by Fawcett and poked out of the zone. Good block by him. Under 5 to go in a wild first period. Game tied 2-2. Both these teams have not exactly lit it up offensively this year. Now a flip by Danilo up into the stands. He's hit on the flip. Will break. 4:46 to go first period. 2-2 the score. This is CSCA. Golden Knights hockey.
Between the Buns and Potsdam is the place to go before and after Clarkson hockey games. Bring your ticket stub from tonight's game. Your second drink is on them. Between the Buns has nightly entertainment, 27 beers on tap, and a dozen high-def TVs with sports on. Between the Buns, Elm Street, Potsdam.
Special thanks to the folks at Between the Buns, hosting the Behind the Bench Between the Buns show with Coach Jones, Josh Bartell, and me. As Fawcett, who got the game's first goal, was the guest, along with James DeHaas. Knights 2, RPI 2. A shot towards play, blocked in the corner for Nick Pirog. We get a whistle here, and offsides is called against RPI. 4:32 to go in the first period of play. So Liljegren opened the scoring at 4:07. The official on Clarkson's second goal at 13:17. Frenchie Chevrolet time of the goal. McGinnity from Houghton and Joe Zarba. We are set at 2-2 right now as Melanson just scored from Manny and Miller. Zarbo backhands it in onside, looking for Gervais chasing in McGinnity. Around the net, McGinnity gets a piece of it. Comes out of the zone. DeHaas and Tansey back on it. Tansey given away to Schrader. Schrader wins the race right wing corner. Schrader holds the corner, hit there by Tansey, pinned to the border. Schrader out of the corner, bumps it back left side here for the Engineers. Shot towards goal, knocked down. With it, left wing corner is Tansey in his own zone. He'll give it away behind the net. Good pressure from RPI. Game tied 2 apiece. Liljegren up the right wing boards now. To the right point. Propavesis waits, delays. Now moves in. Holds and shoots and misses the net. Zarbo 2 up for the Knights. He will blast it off the boards softly down the ice. Alleviating some pressure. 3:40 to go in the first. Shots now 11-9 in favor of the Knights. Icing will be waved off as Summers looks to reverse with Geiger. Summers behind his net on his forehand. Left wing pass for Joe Zarba. A flip out of the zone now, chasing is Josephs into the right wing corner. Joseph jumps his man around Curati. Joseph slashing at Curati, loose puck right wing corner. Out come the Engineers here, and with it is Joseph on the board. Bumped by Curati there, Fossen chasing. Manny. Engineers with speed up and out right wing side. Neal up the long by Fossen. Played the other way by the Knights. Curati follows it up. In on sides, Curati carries around Summers, waits and delays. Curati rolls it back in deep. Right wing corner from Mark Miller. Up the boards it comes for Fossen. Fossen off the boards and out with 2:55 to go in a 2-2 game, period number 1. Knights were down 1, had a 2-1 lead, and RPI's tied it. Both teams with 2 quick goals after taking the lead. Summers, or rather Amoroso behind his net. Knight change forwards. Powers, Dalpe, and Christian out for the Knights. Howden, room left wing side. I had for Powers. He'll chip it wide of Leonard and below the goal line. Powers grabbed at there, won by Dalpe, poked free. La Liberté up the boards, left wing side. Out it comes for the Engineers and Matt Neal. Hard bump stop by Amoroso. He'll spin back to his blue line and possess for the Knights. Amoroso cuts back for Howden, and Howden will fall. Gets back to his feet, passes back for Amoroso in front of his own goal. Amoroso will carry to the right. Look ahead, Terrence Amoroso looks to drop it off for Howden to the red line. Howden, a hard bump around, Knights change. Dalpe chasing below the goal line, left wing side. Bumps his man. Christian and Powers in there as well, giving away. Out come the Engineers, Neal. 3-on-2 if they realize. Neal in on sides. High slot, chance at it! That drive took the Knights D to step up on the play, and RPI regains the lead at 3-2. Miguel in the goal for RPI from Neal. And driving the net was Curtis Leonard. He did a great job taking DeHaas out of the play. McGowan from Neal, RPI 3, Knights 2. Quick wide pass, Summers poked it onside. Summers towards the net, blocked. Summers will hold it along the boards. Forced to the ice there is he, and the Engineers to the line, knocked away by Summers in front of the RPI bench. Donnell on the bouncing puck from Bourbonnais. Retreating for the Engineers. Knights have a 2-1 lead, now down 3-2 here in the first. A little old school hockey here late in the year. The offense coming out.
RPI's third goal was scored by number 21, Mark McGowan.
Off the boards it comes now, out for Pirog. Pirog's pass too far now on the ice. Icing will be called against the Knights.
Time of the goal, 18 minutes, 10 seconds. RPI's third goal scored by 21 McGowan.
That's a whole season's worth of goals tonight for each of these teams.
For 9 Neal and 15 La Liberté at 18-10.
18-10, Frenchie's forward time of the goal. Fawcett and McGinnity for the Knights. RPI loses the face-off as Summers behind his goal for Clarkson's Paul Geiger. Donnell with the boards for Pirog, given away back to Donnell. Going around for Summers. Summers under heavy pressure, given away behind the net now. Back to his feet as Donnell goes to the net for RPI possesses. Left point for Leonard. To his right, Papavesis. Shot towards Perry, save made. Knocked down for Donnell. Off the boards for Joseph. Blocked the line and out. Followed up here by Pirog. Left wing side as he's walled off. Out comes Leonard to his left for Bubella. Into the right wing corner of Knights territory. Puck played in behind the Knights net. 30 to go in the period. Knights down 3-2 here. McGinnity up the board. Stopped by Miller. Miller looks at net. Miller will bring it below the goal line now. Miller plays across the goal mouth off a stick into the right wing corner. Terrence Amorosa has it. Gives it away behind the goal. Miller wins it. Miller up front for a chance. A shot blocked down by the Knights. Out come the Knights. They can't clear the zone one more time. 10 to go in the period. Amorosa around his left the boards for Zarbo. Off the pile. Blocked on by Curati. Given away in front to Amorosa, who will wait and delay, and that'll do it for period number one. McGinnity with one more rush, and Gervais in onside. So the Engineers come back in the game and in the shot category. Good goals from Melanson and Miller. After the Knights took a 2-1 lead, and they have a 3-2 lead after one period of play. 7 saves for Perry and 9 for Jason Kasner. One of the Bucks here at Houston Fieldhouse, and Knights are down by a goal after one period of play. It is on the Canton Potsdam Hospital scoreboard.
It's a special week kicking off the 125th anniversary.
Clarkson down by 1. RPI 3, Clarkson 2. This is CSCA Golden Knights hockey.
The North Country deserves a better selection of new Fords to choose from, and that selection can be found at Frenchie's Ford. How about a new 2014 Ford Taurus SEL? MSRP on this one was $30,007. Now take this one home for just $23,700. Frenchie's Ford, 216 East Orvis Street, Messina, or visit FrenchiesFord.com.
Do you have a big event coming up and don't have a caterer? Call Aramark Dining Services at Teal Arena for wedding receptions, customized catering menus, pre-game buffet in the Barbin Room, or any other special event. Aramark and Teal Arena provides award-winning food services for your event.
Casella Waste Services. Whether you're looking for a regular waste collection or to add recycling to your existing service, from curbside pickup to zero-sort recycling, Casella Waste Services makes it easy on you. Casella Waste Services, your first choice for dependable and affordable waste services.
So what do you get when you cross a Rubik's Cube with Rambo, a Swatch watch with microwave ovens, and a pair of mirrored sunglasses with the best hits of the 80s?
The amazing 80s.
That's the show. I'm MG Kelly, and again this week I'll deliver for you. Join me for a rewind.
Rewind.
Trip to that amazing decade, the amazing 80s. You can hear it all right here.
MG Kelly brings you the amazing 80s every weekend on B99.3.
Dear John, I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is serious, and I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to when you checked on me? I don't want to leave, but remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get yours to a healthy range today. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Time now for the Clarkson Golden Knights Hockey First Intermission Reports on B99.3.
Knights are down 3-2. End of the first. That's right. Knights got 2 goals in the first period. RPI gets 3. And both teams not exactly lighting it up offensively. They did in period number 1. Talking about the ECAC standings and what can happen each way as we head into the last games of the regular season, the last weekend. Quinnipiac 4 points ahead of St. Lawrence in first place with 33 points. Quinnipiac 15-2-3, and they are at Harvard tonight. St. Lawrence, of course, at Union. Yale is the number 3 seed right now with 25 points, and they are hosting Colgate. So Yale with a win go a long way towards clinching a first-round bye in the upcoming playoffs, and they're 2 points ahead of Colgate, also 2 points ahead of Harvard, but they're facing Colgate tonight. Harvard and Colgate tied for the last home ice bye. Harvard coming off a loss at St. Lawrence, a win at Clarkson, and then a loss in overtime against BC in the Bean Pot Invitational.
Rensselaer Hockey would like to thank the following sponsors.
Dartmouth is in 6th. They have 22 points. Cornell in 7th with 21. They're losing right now. Clarkson in 8th with 18. And then 9, 10, 11, 12 goes RPI, Union, Brown, and Princeton. That's where we stand in ECAC. Men's ice hockey as the Knights are looking to secure home ice with a win or a tie tonight, but right now they are down. After 1 period of play here at Houston Fieldhouse, Knights had a 2-1 lead. AJ Foss in the goal, Pat McGinnity a goal, but RPI's goals from Lildrigan, Melanson, and Miller. And that's where we stand. I'm sorry, McGowan, not Miller. McGowan the goal. That's where we stand after 1 here at Houston Fieldhouse. After 1 on the Canton Potsdam Hospital scoreboard, carrying beyond Benson is RPI 3, Clarkson 2. This is CSEA. Golden Knights Hockey.
Only $2 for any size A&W root beer float? That's right, only $2 for A&W root beer made fresh in store. Limited time only at participating A&W restaurants. Prices may vary, tax extra.
Casella Waste Services, making it easy to recycle with zero-sort recycling. Simply place all your recyclables in one bin and bring it to the curb, conserving, renewing, and sustaining the world's limited resources. Casella Waste Services, your first choice for dependable and affordable waste services.
Now back to the Clarkson Golden Knights Hockey First Intermission Reports on B99.3.
It is a 3-2 lead for RPI. Clarkson's women playing in the ECAC playoffs. Amanda Titus and Kelly Mercer have the goals for the Clarkson women, and they are on top of Dartmouth 2-0 at the end of 1 period of play. Clarkson out shooting the Big Green 17-3 in the first. If the Knights women win today, they can clinch the series tomorrow against those same Dartmouth Big Green. That game's a 4 o'clock face up at Chile Arena in the ECAC women's playoffs. And if Clarkson's women advance, they would host whoever remains in the ECAC women's ice hockey tournament. But end of 1 period of play, it is the Clarkson women up on top of Dartmouth in the ECAC women's playoffs. It is the Knights 2 and Dartmouth 0. When we come back, we'll give you the out-of-town scores and a game recap also. End of one period of play here on the scoreboard. Brought to you by Canton Potsdam Hospital. It is the Knights down by 1. It's RPI 3, Clarkson 2. This is CSEA. Clarkson, Golden Knights hockey.
The ice and snow are brutal. Lives are at risk. Ruben is a snowplow driver.
It's pretty dangerous out there. Trees might be dropping limbs, blocking roads.
Plow operators like Brian are highly skilled.
We've had some real bad snowstorms where we worked right around Clark.
CSEA members like Ruben and Brian are clearing your roads for safety to give you the edge on ice. When you see them, slow down, be patient, give them room to give you the edge on ice. A safety message from CSEA.
Scott's Auto Center in Potsdam. Stop by for a test drive and let Larry Martin help you save thousands on a low-mileage, nearly new vehicle. And for service, Scott's Auto will keep your vehicle running better and longer. Scott's Auto Center, by the bowling lanes on Market Street, Potsdam.
Between the Buns in Potsdam is the place to go before and after Clarkson hockey games. Bring your ticket stub from tonight's game. Your second drink is on them. Between the Buns has nightly entertainment, 27 beers on tap, and a dozen high-def TVs with sports on. Between the Buns, Elm Street, Potsdam.
Sounds like the newspaper's here, honey.
Yeah.
So, are you gonna go out to get it?
Well, I did it last time.
No, I did it last time. It's your turn.
All right, I'll do it. Toss me the keys to the forklift.
Okay, that's good. Now, set the newspaper down on the table so I can read it.
For those with physical limitations, accomplishing simple daily activities that most of us take for granted can become painful and challenging. Whether you're struggling with a new or chronic condition, Canton Potsdam Hospital's experts in physical, occupational, and speech therapy will work with you to improve your functioning. We even have specialists in vestibular rehabilitation and orthopedics. Schedule an appointment today in Potsdam or Canton and get back to living. CPHPT.org. Canton Potsdam Hospital. Caring beyond medicine.
Hi, Joe Cortez, coming in this weekend with the biggest hits of the video music era on Retro Pop Reunion. It is the Royals Invasion. There is so much good music that comes out of one small country. Of course we're talking about the British. The Royals British Invasion, Depeche Mode, Duran Duran, Bananarama, Def Leppard, Annie Lennox, Roots, and Eurythmics. This weekend, the Royals Invasion from the 80s and 90s on Retro Pop Reunion. Facebook.com/Retro Pop Reunion.
Listen to Joe Cortez and the Retro Pop Reunion every Saturday and Sunday night starting at 7 on B99.3.
Only $2 for any size A&W Root Beer Float? That's right! Only $2 for A&W Root Beer made fresh in store. Limited time only at participating A&W restaurants. Prices may vary. Tax extra.
We've unlocked the vaults, and we're replaying Casey Kasem's American Top 40, the 80s.
Yeah, I'm back, big
This
guy.
week is from March 1st, 1986. That's when
Now
James
back to the
Brown was
Clarkson
living
Golden
in
Knights
America.
Hockey First
Dion
intermission
and friends
report
taught us
on
that's what friends are
B99.3.
for. ELO was calling America, and the Miami.
And welcome back to Houston Fieldhouse. 3-2 is the score after one period of play. Marty, we'll carry it into the period to begin period number 2. Just so you know. One in the books. RPI has the 3-2 lead after one. Out-of-town scores are brought to you by A&W Restaurant, Long John Silver's of Ogdensburg. And the first, St. Lawrence 2, Union 0. Brown has the field goal against Cornell. The Brown Bears 3, Cornell 0. Colgate and Yale, no score. Princeton, Dartmouth, no score. And Quinnipiac and Harvard, late in the first, also no score. Other scores from around the country. Niagara 1, Robert Morris 0. RIT over Mercyhurst 3-0. AIC 1, Army 0. Canisius and Air Force scoreless. Moving on to the Hockey East Association, Lowell leads Vermont 1-0. Northeastern and BU a 7:30 face-off. UConn up against UMass. 2-zip, UConn leading. Maine and Providence 1 apiece. Merrimack and New Hampshire no score. BC Notre Dame no score. Out in the WCHA, Bowling Green has the lead. Sorry, Bowling Green is playing late. Bowling Green playing late against Alaska Anchorage at Alaska Anchorage. Northern Michigan 1, Lake Superior State. Bemidji State 1, Ferris State 0. Michigan Tech and Minnesota State no score. Huntsville hosting Alaska Fairbanks also. In the National, Duluth and Omaha no score. Western Michigan 0. Colorado College 0. It is Miami and Denver no score. St. Cloud State and North Dakota no score. Ohio State 2, Penn State 1. Wisconsin, Michigan no score. Those are the out-of-town scores. Now here is a wild game recap. 5 goals scored in the first period of play. Steve Perry stopped 7. Jason Kasdorf stopped 9. 11-10 the shots in favor of the Knights. Mitchell Liljegren scored from Luke Curati and Mike Prapovestis. At the Frenchies forward, time of the goal 4:07 of the first. For Liljegren, his 7th, giving the Engineers a 1-0 lead. Clarkson came back at 6:51, a power play goal, 5th of the year for A.J. Fossey. He scores from Kevin Tansey and Joe Zarba. I said a 5-on-3, almost a full 5-on-3, a minute 56 of 5-on-3 time. He scored with about 10 seconds to go in the first penalty. For Zarbo, his fifth assist of the year. Tansey's 3rd. Then at 13-17, Frenchies forward, time of the goal, Pat McGennity. Scoring his 5th from James Houghton. And Zarbo again. Knights 2-1 in the lead, and it was Melanson scoring at 14:01 from Miller and Nanny. And then at 18:10, McGowan from Neal and LaLiberte. That's where we stand. Knights 1 of 3 in the power play. RPI is going to man up. We have a change in goal for the Golden Knights as Greg Lewis is in for the Golden Knights, trying to stem the momentum. Set by RPI in period number 1. Clarkson moved from Auer right to left. Engineers from left to right. Gervais against Miller on the faceoff, and we are underway. Once they drop the puck. Engineers win it, played wide of Lewis. Next to the line and not out. Gervais a bump on the Engineers. Melanson, left wing side now. Summers eludes a check and he finds Gervais. Gervais dives, pulls out of the zone for Joe Zarba. Back in the cross for Gervais, in on side, a shot! Pass save made by Kasdorf for RPI, bumped out by the Engineers. Back to it is Summers on his right wing. Into the pressure now, given away to Howden, or to Geiger, and Geiger will reset for the Knights. Dumped in behind, and Knights are going to be whistled for icing, they say. And the Knights bench is perplexed. So icing will call. I guess he was out there for the Knights. I think Summers up there made. They were changing the dump in here, so we'll see who stays on. So Greg Lewis hit the goal. Perry allowing 3 goals on 10 shots. Leaving Gervais out and McGennity. Danilo, McGennity, Christian.
Playing goal for Clarkson, number 33, Greg Lewis.
Around the face-off is going to be Geiger and Summers behind the net. Wrap around for Christian left wing corner. Christian will look for pressure, hold it, and eat it on the boards here. Given away behind the goal. Loose puck won by the Knights. Geiger up his right wing side. Geiger off the boards into Danilo. Danilo and Gervais try to clear, and they can't do so. Geiger back on it for the Knights. Reversed around here. Babella knocks down his man. Pass in front for the Engineers. A chance to cross, and a save made by the Knights goaltender Greg Lewis. Bubella right wing side. Engineers has some jump now, given away to Geiger. Up the boards for Clarkson's Todd Christian, given away to Danilo. Slides it across for Gervais. Gervais fades right, and he will gain the red line. Roll it in behind Kazar. Knights down 3-2 here. Christian trying to feed that a high slot, won by Pirog. He backhands it deep for Christian left wing corner. On the goal for Danilo. Right wing side wrapped around and off the linesman here. Loose Danilo and Pirog to it. Held on to by Leonard below the goal line. Pirog out of the corner, right wing side. Pirog chops in man. Loose puck kicked free. Out comes RPI with some speed now. On the right wing side, flipped in by Lally Verte. Deep for McGowan, who had the game's third goal. Knights down 3-2 here. Early period number 2. Amorosa off the boards for Pirog. Players fall here. It's going to be Engineers to the line, and they slap it back in. One for Fawson left wing. Fawson ahead for Vino off his skate at Kasdorf. He will cover up and hang on. It wasn't a bad pass from Fawson. He had to get it around an Engineer player.
Thank you for coming to tonight's game.
Knights had a 2-1 lead before Melanson and McGowan scored for the Engineers at 14:01 and 18:10. Near time of the goal brought to you by Frenchie's Chevrolet in the city. Vino facing it off up the league side. RPI 3, Clarkson 2. Knights up by 3 points in the league standings here on the Engineers. Long pass out. RPI with some numbers here, and they can't quite connect on the pass. Bourbonnais in behind Greg Lewis. He'll stick it aside here for DeHaas. Around and out it comes for the Knights. Left wing side from Joseph. Pass off the way now. DeVito in on sides is RPI. A shot! And Lewis goes in and makes a save on Wood. And now we got some pushing and shoving after the whistle. There's 17:27 to go in period number 2. I'd be surprised if he takes matchings here now. Joseph's an RPI player the way it is. Knights down 3-2. Let's see. Will there be penalties called? Knights try and change. And they do. We got all 5 out in the ice after RPI change. I'm a bit surprised at that. Miller will face it off against Clarkson's Brett Gervais. One for Geiger on the boards. Geiger pinned to the wall. Zarbo, who has 2 assists tonight already for the Knights. Tied up. Out it comes for the Engineers, but it's poked across the blue line. And stepping up was Nanny, giving away on the board. Summers in on side, right wing. Lose the elbow there from Curati. Zarbo over the goal line, won by McGinty. Feeds off the side of the goal for Gervais off the net. Right point it comes for Summers. Left side for Geiger. Geiger back to a pass across. A shot! Save made. Rebound kick free here from McGinty and Zarbo. Zarbo behind the goal from Gervais. Bumps it back for Geiger left point. Geiger shoots off an RPI stick over the goal. Summers down the boards, right wing side for the Knights. Summers across the goal mouth. It's off Kasdorf's stick to the line and not out. Geiger at left point. Rolls it back down low behind. Zarbo and McGinty chase. It's a 3-2 RPI lead here. Knights with good pressure now. Geiger down the boards, kicks it back into the corner, left for Zarbo. Zarbo toes and drags towards goal. He's worked off by a much bigger Luke Curati. Down the boards comes Geiger, kicking it back in below the goal line. It can be high stick by the Engineers. And that'll keep the face-off inside Engineer territory with 16:26 to go here in period number 2. 3-2 RPI on top, in case you're just getting along with us tonight. Goals by Fawson on a power play at 6:51, and then McGinty for the Knights. The Engineers were down 2-1, got goals from Melanson and McGowan 4 minutes apart. On the face-off, Danilo wins it behind the goal. We'll try to backhand it out in front, looking for Todd Christian as Aslan off that line right now. It's Amorosa up the boards, right wing side. Head for Danilo, pass behind him now. Amorosa follows it up. RPI pulls it free, played in behind Steve Perry. Back it comes for James Howden. Howden up the boards for Christian left wing. Christian with time and space. Finds Danilo through center. Right wing for Pirog towards goal. Pirog bumps Leonard to the right wing corner. Played around the Engineers' net. Christian chasing it down now against Chris Bradley. Howden pokes it forward. Bubella will bring it behind his net. Short change for each team. 15:40 to go in period number 2. Engineers give it away right wing side. Christian along the board. Tries it along now for Danilo. Danilo in front for Pirog. Back for Christian in front. It skirts off a stick and a skate, and Christian will play it at the netminder. Covered up by Jason Kasdorf. 3-2 RPI on top. 15:33 to go in this second period of play. Right wing face-off. Vigneault, Fossen, Josephs. Tansey and DeHaas the points. And a bad win of the face-off there as it never hit the ice. Won by RPI, the puck never hit the ice, so the referee is batting his chest. Right wing circle face-off, 15:32 to go, period 2. Knights down 3-2. Up top for Tansey. He'll shoot, blocked by the Engineers. La Liberté. He'll roll it down the ice. Icing will be called on the Engineers. A break for the Knights there as not a bad idea to shoot, never a bad idea to shoot, and never a bad idea to shoot. Tansey shot blocked right back to him. He kept it alive initially. RPI on top by a goal here. Facing it off left wing side are the Knights. Now let's see, Josephs and La Liberté will step back in on the face-off left wing side. One back for Fossen, rolling in behind. Vigneault chasing. Up the boards, left wing side. Engineers try and clear. It goes high to the air. And it's going to be kicked out of the zone by RPI. Back to Clarkson's blue line. Tansey backhand flip across for DeHaas right wing. DeHaas up the ice, bumps it in deep. Papavesis back to it. We'll hold it away. RPI 3, Clarkson to La Liberté. Up his right wing side, off the skate of DeHaas, icing waved off. Now as Neal to it, right wing corner. Pinned by DeHaas. Loose puck left wing side, Fossen back on it. He'll bring it back in behind his own goal. Fossen cuts the net for Josephs, who will backing it up and out for Fossen right wing. Fossen in on sides, holds and delays right point. Fossen right wing corner now for Sam Vigneault. Fossen off the ice. Vigneault chopped down now. One for Dalpe. Backhanded down low for Vigneault. He'll head off, and RPI will possess the puck. Back on it here is Papavesis for the Engineers. They're up 3-2 here with 14:24 to go in this second period. Puck poked ahead for Dalpe. In on side for Aslan. Knocked away from him now as Powers into his man. One back for Clarkson's Kelly Summers. He'll overskate it. Back in it across for Geiger. Geiger rink wide looking for Powers. Powers in on sides, right wing. Oh, they call Aslan offside ahead of the play. He was just a shade ahead of the play here. That was a good break for the night. So for the Engineers. With 14:05 to go in period number 2. Engineers 3, Golden Knights 2. Clarkson 3-8-3 on Friday nights this year. Down a goal here. One by Zarbo behind the net. Pass in front, looking to the left point it comes. Amorosa couldn't settle a bouncing puck there. It rolled, and he couldn't settle it. He'll turn up his left wing and bring it in on side, rolling it back in behind Bradley. Amorosa chasing here, deep for Joe Zarbo. Players fall left wing side here. To the point it comes. Knights keep it alive. McGinnity, Zarbo, and Gervais for the Knights. Gervais, left point for Amorosa. We'll serve it around behind now with no shot lane. Deep for Joe Zarbo. Pulled free by Leonard for the Engineers. Across for Bradley. Deep in RPI territory, Bradley. A high flip caught by Zarbo. High side Zarbo waits, and he can't get a shot off. Need one more move. Poked away from him. Leonard to the red line. Rolls it back in behind. He'll change up. Howden back to it for the Knights. Up the boards now for Nick Pirog. Pirog, three-wide pass over Zarbo's head, given away to the Engineers. Now Miller towards the goal. Puck down here, batted out of the zone by the Knights. Icing will be signaled for and then waved off, luckily for Clarkson, as Pirog will press. 12:57 to go. Second period. It is a 3-2 Engineer lead. And Steve Perry started, he was pulled up to the first. Long pass down the ice. RPI wins the race now. Pass in front, knocked away by Tansey, as they had Neal waiting on the long fly pattern pass. DeHaas bumps his man. Tansey in the left wing corner of Knights territory now. Players fall. In there as well as Prapavesis. Kick the long, out of the corner it comes. A high slot shot, wide of the goal from Miller. On the boards comes Wood, right wing side. Out of the corner comes Melanson. But a high slot carries to his left. Around Pirog now, back to Melanson. A shot off the outside of the goal. Pirog tripped up coming out of the zone. There is no call. Knights, Tansey and his man, won by Pirog up the boards. Pirog to the line, and the Knights can't clear. One more time for DeHaas, who will possess. Bounce it back in behind for Tansey. Back for DeHaas with time and space, and DeHaas out for Pirog right wing. Pirog down the ice with Denal moving towards it. He is interrupted, fought up here by DeHaas. He will be just barely able to clear off the stick of Zach Schrader, giving away now to Christian left wing. Christian will serve it in to the RPI zone, stopped by Curati. 11:37 to go, period 2. Knights down 3-2. Lewis bobs back to the corner, pass off the outside of the goal as he was late getting back into the net, and the pass off the outside of the goal rolls back to center ice to Bella. Ahead for RPI, in on sides Liljegren. Deep around Tansey and DeHaas, back on the ice. They haven't gotten off yet. Tansey loses a stick now, stopped here by Fossen. Right point, Fossen bumps his man, that's Bell. They dig, out it comes for Bubella. High slot, a shot blocked to the line, kept alive by Liljegren. Left point for the Engineers, backdoor pass down low. It's going to be Schrader and Liljegren. Bubella waits, right point now for Bell. A shot blocked by Fossen one more time. Fossen ahead now, onsides Josephs. Towards goal, a shot, it rolls wide of the RPI net. Knights change their D, however, and a much needed change it was. 3-2 is the lead, now Engineers up and out. And Schrader will roll back in behind Lewis. RPI changing here. 10:40 to go in a fast-paced second. Knights down a goal. Kelly Summers down his right wing boards now. Hooked at into the zone. Won by the Engineers now. Back the other way. And with some speed here. There's RPI. A shot below the goal line, right wing side. Blocked down. Engineers possess right wing corner. Summers and Geiger to it. Geiger takes the hard bump there. Out comes Summers. A cut to his right in front of his goal. And flip it high to the air, down the ice. Zarbo chasing here on the bounce off his skate. It rolls towards goal and covered up by Kasdorf. Will break. 10-11 to go, period number 2. 3-2 RPI on top. This is CSEA Golden Knights Hockey.
Whether you're struggling with a new or chronic condition, Canton Potsdam Hospital's experts in physical, occupational, and speech therapy will work with you to improve your functioning. CPHPT.org. Canton Potsdam Hospital, caring beyond medicine.
Howden at the right point shoots towards the goal off the back of the boards. Won by Howden behind the net. Howden, right circle, shoots towards goal, blocked in front by the Engineers. And Mark McGowan. Out comes RPI now. Leonard up his right wing side. A high flip down the ice. Howden racing against Neal. Howden cuts up his left wing side, leaves it deep in behind for Knights freshman Terrence Amorosa. Out it comes for the Knights and Gervais. A high flip followed up by Howden. Howden gives it away now. On sides is DeVito towards goal against Amorosa. Amorosa forced him to the right wing corner of the Knight zone. Knights down 3-2 here, halfway through the game. 9:33 to go in the period. It was 3-2 after one. Knights had a 2-1 lead. They were down 1-0. Players jam in the right wing corner still. Finally, it's going to be Howden, Amorosa, and Gervais. At the board comes from Joe Zarbo. To his left for McGinnity. McGinnity will high flip left wing corner now, deep into the zone, and back to his Prapavesis against Clarkson's Joe Zarbo. Knights changed. Geiger and Summers ahead. RPI with numbers now. Late change for the Knights. In on sides was Borbonai, but it's pulled free by the Knights and Paul Geiger and Summers. Long pass ahead now finds Christian onside left wing. Christian looks towards the goal, blocked away by Curati. Big body heels. Pass to the right point, poked away from Summers by Wood. Summers deep behind for Nick Pirog. Christian to it, right wing corner of Engineer territory. Denell looks for a backdoor pass. Denell, right circle now. Will fold it along the boards, deep for Todd Christian. Poked away from him now. Geiger backs off the null, chasing here. Played in behind the RPI net. Back to it is Jared Wilson for the Engineers. Summer steps up, poked away from him. Center ice Geiger along the right wing boards while back in and play it at Kasdorf on a weird bounce. 8:20 remains, second period. RPI 3, Clarkson 2. Tansey forced to back off Miller, poked away from him now. Joseph's wins it. Joseph's at the net, and the shot and the save is made into Kasdorf's chest. 17th shot of the game for the Golden Knights. 18th shot of the game.
Schools in Troy to shoot for the Stars program. RPI Athletics would like to thank National Grid Foundation for their support
Knights
of our local youth and our community.
Down 3-2. Face off the wing, one for Tansey. Tansey at the net off the ankle of the Engineers. Zach Schrader off the boards now. Long pass kicked down by Foss and Tansey in on side left wing. Chases in below the goal line. Now Vino on the back door. Here's in front for Tansey. He turns around, shoots. Save made by the goaltender, Jason Kasdorf. The dump in by Tansey came off the back wall. Vino won it and spun and fed in front. And he found Tansey on the backhand. He turned and swung and missed once, got it again, and Kasdorf able to track it and make the save. 7:54 remains, period number 2. Knights down 3-2 here. Aslan out on the face-off right wing. And it's going to be Aslan playing it deep in behind with Powers and Ben Dalpin. Aslan kicks it free towards Kasdorf, and again the puck rolls on goal. He's forced to cover up and hang on.
United Group from concept.
Another offensive zone draw for the Knights.
Marketing and management to core their philosophy is people who live and work in the space they develop.
Face off again.
College suites at City Station.
Inside RPI territory. Dalpin to the right point for Howden. Towards the goal, pad save, rebound for Christian Power. He puts it back for Amorosa. He'll shoot, and he under pressure shoots it over the goal. Howden keeps it alive, high slot for Aslan. Aslan poked off his stick and plays off the glass and out. Howden ahead of the red line, back in onside to the Aslan. Rolls it back in deep into RPI territory. Knights down 3-2 here. Aslan chasing, bump back in with Dalpe and Powers in there as well. Players fall behind the net. Chris Bradley up his right wing side, stopped by Amorosa beyond the blue line. Dalpe dumps it back, a nice retouch. Now Joseph's pressuring, forces his man Leonard out from behind the goal. Schrader at center right wing. Puts it in deep in below the goal line here. Shots 21-11 in favor of the Knights. They are down 3-2. Amorosa, time and space left wing. Ahead for A.J. Foster. Going ahead for the pass. Bell back across for Curati. Ramped in by the Engineers, and back to it is Amorosa. Amorosa now will turn it and bring it in below the goal line here. Engineers pressure Amorosa up the right wing side. Bubella to the line, kept alive by Bell, but Fossen forces it back down the ice. Icing waved off. It was tipped. Save the linesman. Joseph puts on pressure as Bubella on his right wing side, away from Vigneault. Schrader, nice slot pass now. A chance, a shot tipped in the netting above the goal. Will break. 6:19 to go. Period number 2. RPI 3, Clarkson 2. This is CSEA Golden Knights hockey.
Do you have a big event coming up and don't have a caterer? Call Aramark Dining Services at Teal Arena for wedding receptions, customized catering menus, pre-game buffet in the Barbin Room, or any other special event. Aramark and Teal Arena provides award-winning food services for your event.
Knights win the face-off behind their goal. DeHaas behind his net. Reverses for Tansey with time. Finds Gervais. Gervais, left wing side for Joe Zarbo. In on side. Zarbo at net. Pad save. Rebound. McGinnity looks for the rebound. He overskates it. Put out of the zone by RPI. Back to it is Kevin Tansey. Cuts to his right. The reverse behind the goal now. Looking for DeHaas. Helped around now as Zarbo waits. Long pass that given away to the high slot. Poked high to the air by McGinnity now against Neal. Players out of the zone. It's Zarbo one-on-one. Joe Zarbo drives wide right. Zarbo waits and delays. Poked off his stick. Brought ahead now by the Engineers. And Mark McGowan. He'll lose possession now. Knocked off from here for the Knights. And a hard hit offsides called. Gervais the other way for the Knights. Gervais with Pirog. Gervais left wing. Looks to feed in front for Pirog. It rolls wide of him. Now Todd Christian puts on pressure to the boards. And Howden at the right point couldn't keep it in. Puck comes free to the Clarkson blue line for Terrence Amorosa. Up for Howden. Ramped in behind here by Pirog. Chased by Todd Christian. 5:20 to go, period number 2. It is a 3-2 RPI lead. DeVito Knocked away from the hit of the Knights now. Long pass for Christian in onside. Christian as Piron interrupted at the RPI blue line, trying to stay on sides. DeVito up and out for the Engineers. Long pass ahead, chested down by DeHaas. Ahead now for Christian. Bumped in for Donnell, who's off sides. And Donnell able to elude a hard check by DeVito, or a hard check attempt, I should say. 4:57 to go, period number 2. No scoring in the second period. It's RPI 3, the Knights 2. Lildrigan, Melanson, and McGowan for the Engineers, and then Fawcett and McGanty for the Knights. Joe Zarbo, 2 assists in the game. Giving him 3 career points against RPI. Knights lose the face-off. RPI to it, left wing side. Played in Sam Vigneault, bring it behind his net. Around the goal now for Joseph's given away. Back on it is Vigneault with Geiger. Vigneault holds and delays now, and he will look for Fawcett and Geiger. Fawcett back into the cross for Summers. Summers down the right wing boards. In off a stick for Joseph's. Deep on the goal line. Fawcett passes for Vigneault. He'll win it to the right point. Summers holds. Summers towards the net. Hits Fawcett on the backside and goes wide of the goal. Out comes RPI. Poked along to the blue line. In onside to the Engineers now. It's once and twice, and Fawcett wins it for Vigneault. Vigneault will carry behind his goal and reset for the Knights. Long pass for Fawcett. Chip it in. Knights changing here. Curati has it for the Engineers. Right by pass for Bubella against Joseph. Bubella in onside. A shot stick saved by Lewis. Hooked out is Bubella is Tansey behind the goal. Tansey wins it on his right wing board. Reverses here for Geiger. Geiger up the left wing side and out for the Knights. Knights are down 3 to a high flip. Dalpe gloved down by Curati. Hand pass will be called here against the Engineers. A break for Clarkson here as Dalpe looking for the win for himself. 3:47 to go. Knights have calmed things down in period number 2 after a frenetic first, but they are down 3-2. Joe Zarbo has tied a career high with 2 assists tonight. Gervais on the face-off. Pokes to the corner now. Gervais, Zarbo, and McGanty up the Knights. Gervais wins at right point. Plays it at Castor. A high shoulder save. McGanty bumps up side against Curati. Inside RPI territory. Players jam. It's kicked wide behind the goal. Bradley Bell behind his net for the Engineers. Hooked at by Joe Zarbo. Knights down 3-2. Bubella in his own territory. Carries to his left. Engineers have not won since January. Rolled in back in onside. Lewis stops it behind his goal now. Given away to Tansey and then DeHaas. DeHaas up and out right wing side. DeHaas carries, looks left and flips it in behind. On the dump, it's stopped by Kaz over the bump around. Zarbo presses Jared Wilson for the Engineers. Won by Amoroso. Turn and shoot towards goal. Blocked down. Pirog on a shot and a great pad save made by the right pad of Kasdorf on Pirog's rebound attempt. Amoroso to his right for Howden. Howden ahead for Todd Christian, right wing board. Bumped along for Bell. Pirog, a shot! Wires it high and wide of the net. Amoroso left point. He'll take a shot. Play it down the wall. Stopped by the Engineers. Down the ice. Won by Christian across for James Howden, right wing. Down the ice now for Pirog. Ran high to the air. Players fall now, and it's going to be Donnell retouching. Donnell ahead for Christian in on sides. Back for Donnell. Donnell can't get around the check there of RPI's Prapavesis. A high flip into the right wing corner by Amorosa. One around the goal. Christian to it, left wing side for Clarkson on the offensive end behind Pirog. Donnell chasing as well. Knights down 3-2, pressing for the equalizer now with 2:10 to go in the second period. Off the glass and beyond Howden's reach. Icing will be called. Amorosa back on it with 2:02 to go. Knights a chance here, and you might see RPI burn their timeout. We'll see if they do. We're having to wait till the third. Clarkson's women now up 5-0 on Dartmouth, and RPI will use their timeouts. Right now, as I suspected, we'll take the break. 2:02 to go, period number 2. It is RPI 3, Clarkson 2 on the Canton Potsdam Hospital scoreboard. This is CSEA. Clarkson, Golden Knights hockey.
CSEA members are first in the storm, so safe drivers have the edge on ice. Hundreds of skilled, experienced CSEA workers are out there clearing the way for you. So when you see them working, give them the edge too. Don't drive too close. Help keep them safe.
Brown was up 3-0 and now is up 3-2. Cornell. On the town scores brought to you by our friends at A&W Restaurant, Long John Silver's. Over at Ogdensburg. RPI after an icing is called timeout. Knights winning in face-offs 21-60, now shooting RPI 24-12. Vigneault, Fossen powers on the face-off. Right wing circle inside RPI territory. Vigneault on the face-off, kick behind the Engineer net, wrapped around. Geiger keeps it alive, right point, back into the high slot for Vigneault. Vigneault carries to his left, back off for Summers. Oh, shot! And it's easily gathered in by the goaltender Jason Kasdorf. Knights women now leading 5-0 against Dartmouth in game 1 of their ECAC playoff series. Knights looking for some energy here after a strong second period in the offensive end. No goals yet. 3-2 after one. 3-2 still late in period number 2. A minute and 50 to go. Vigneault on the faceoff. Fossen kicks it free. It's pulled free now eventually by, it's in the Engineer's glove. He covered his hand now. Vigneault out of the pile with it. Pokes it in behind for Joseph and Vigneault. Out free again in the corner around the RPI net. Bradley up his left wing side. Long pass down the ice, goes wide of Lewis. Icing once again called on the Engineers. RPI contending it was tipped coming out of the zone. Facing it off right wing set again for the Knights. 1:28 to go, period 2. They're down 3-2 here. Now both Gervais and Miller fencing and jostling. The faceoff will be won by the Engineers. Stopped by McGinnity, right wing corner. McGinnity drives towards the goal. He's knocked down there. Good hit by Miller. Miller to it now. McGinnity looks for a wrap, pulled free by the Engineers, and it's going to be Leonard in the corner, off the glass and out. Icing will be waved off. The rule that Gervais could have played it. Howden back on it. RPI changes. Howden long past the bump after McGinnity onside right wing. McGinnity will pull it back in behind as Zarbo puts on pressure. A minute to go, period number 2. Engineers up 3-2. Across for Terrence Amorosa. Amorosa to his right for Todd Christian. He's melted from behind there. Off the boards and out. 44 to go. Pirog tries to pass across to Amorosa. Rolled back in behind Todd Christian and Pirog to our right wing corner. Danilo Jones, Amorosa's off the ice. RPI with it now. They'll play it to the line. They got numbers if they want. Up ahead for Bubella. Towards the Clarkson goal now. Out the way from Lewis. Poked to the corner for Bell. Back for Bubella, right wing side. Bell back on it for the Engineers now. Spin off a check now. Danilo lost a stick. Tansy back on it. 15 to go in the period. Tansy behind his net. Hooked at. Or up the boards. It comes for Todd Christian left wing side. Up the boards for Danilo. Poked along. He's elbowed it ahead there. Pent alive by McGowan. Stopped by Tansy with 4 to go in the period. Engineers dig along the pile here. One more chance for the Engineers at the net. Knocked down for a chance. And that'll do it. Well, the stats are what the stats are for the Golden Knights. When trailing after 2, the Knights have yet to win a game. Or even tie one. Knights were 0-6-1 when trailing after the first, and they are 0-13. When trailing at the 2, Kasdorf 13 second period saves, and Greg Lewis stopped 2, but the Engineers have the lead on the Canton Potsdam Hostile scoreboard. After 2, here it is. The RPI Engineers 3, the Clarkson Golden Knights 2. This is CSEA, Clarkson Golden Knights hockey.
Sounds like the newspaper's here, honey. So, are you going to go out to get it?
Well, I did it last time.
No, I did it last time. It's your turn.
All right, I'll get it. Toss me the keys to the forklift.
Okay, that's good. Now, set the newspaper down on the table so I can read it.
For those with physical limitations, accomplishing simple daily activities that most of us take for granted can become painful and challenging. Whether you're struggling with a new or chronic condition, Canton Potsdam Hospital's experts in physical, occupational, and speech therapy will work with you to improve your functioning. We even have specialists in vestibular rehabilitation and orthopedics. Schedule an appointment today in Potsdam or Canton and get back to living. cphpt.org. Canton Potsdam Hospital. Caring beyond medicine.
Ready to head over to St. Lawrence Federal Credit Union, honey?
All set. Wait, you're wearing pajamas.
I thought I'd dress appropriately to get one of their comfy home loans.
Okay, I'm sure they'll be impressed. And bunny slippers, too. Adorable.
Visit St. Lawrence Federal. They have great fixed, adjustable, and short-term mortgage rates to make you feel very comfortable about getting into your dream home.
I'll drive.
Why?
Because you're wearing a sleep mask.
St. Lawrence Federal Credit Union. Equal housing lender. Federally insured by NCUA.
The ice and snow are brutal. Lives are at risk. Ruben is a snowplow driver.
It's pretty dangerous out there. Trees might be dropping limbs, blocking roads.
Plow operators like Brian are highly skilled.
We've had some real bad snowstorms where we worked right around clock.
CSEA members like Ruben and Brian are clearing your roads for safety to give you the edge on ice. When you see them, slow down, be patient, give them room to give you the edge on ice. A safety message from CSEA.
Casella Waste Services. Whether you're looking for regular waste collection or to add recycling to your existing service, from curbside pickup to zero sort recycling, Casella Waste Services makes it easy on you. Casella Waste Services, your first choice for dependable and affordable waste services.
The North Country deserves a better selection of new Fords to choose from, and that selection can be found at Frenchie's Ford. How about a new 2014 Ford Taurus SEL? MSRP on this one was $30,007. Now take this one home for just $23,700. Frenchie's Ford, 216 East Orvis Street, Messina, or visit FrenchiesFord.com.
Time now for the Clarkson Golden Knights Hockey Second Intermission Report on B99.3.
The Golden Knights outshoot RPI 13-2 in period 2, but unable to dent the net. Fawson and Pat McGanity getting the goals for the Golden Knights in the first period of play. Clarkson on a 2-1 lead for all of 44 seconds before RPI tied it on Mellanson's goal from Miller and Nanny. And then McGowan scored at 18-10 from Neal. RPI on top 3-2. And that's where we stand here in heading into the third period of play. As they have an ice show going on. That's the music behind us here at Houston Fieldhouse. Knights, if they win or tie tonight, gain home ice for next weekend's playoffs. And if they do so, they would host most likely this team or Union. Depends on how other things go here around ECAC men's ice hockey. But that's the numbers would be on the side of the Knights if they get home ice, hosting RPI. If the Knights lose this game, they're still a point ahead of the Engineers. And RPI playing tomorrow against St. Lawrence. And the Knights having to go to Union, who has been struggling of late, but the Knights have not exactly had a lot of love after a lot of years they won a regular season game at Union College. When we come back, we will check out the status of the Clarkson women in their playoff game tonight at home against Dartmouth College Big Green. End of 2 here on the scoreboard, brought to you by our friends at Canton Potsdam Hospital, caring beyond medicine it is. RPI 3, Clarkson 2. This is CSEA. Clarkson, Golden Knights hockey.
I'm Peyton Manning, and I joined Nationwide because they put members first. And what's important to you is important to them.
What about my car?
Yep.
My retirement?
Uh-huh.
Our house?
Definitely. Protecting what you care about. Just another way Nationwide does it right. Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates, Columbus, Ohio. Paid spokesperson, subject to underwriting guidelines and scales and availability vary.
To learn how to join the nation, contact your local agent, Michelle Manley Williams or Scott Manley in Messina today at 315-764-0286.
CSEA members are first in the storm, so safe drivers have the edge on ice. Hundreds of skilled, experienced CSEA workers are out there clearing the way for you. So when you see them working, give them the edge too. Don't drive too close. Help keep them safe.
Between the Buns in Potsdam is the place to go before and after Clarkson hockey games. Bring your ticket stub from tonight's game. Your second drink is on them. Between the Buns has nightly entertainment, 27 beers on tap, and a dozen high-def TVs with sports on. Between the Buns, Elm Street, Potsdam.
Now back to the Clarkson Golden Knights hockey second intermission report on B99.3.
2 in the books. It is a 3-2 lead here for the Rensselaer Engineers over the Clarkson Golden Knights on CSEA. Clarkson Golden Knights hockey. Clarkson's women got first period goals from Titus and Mercer. They have extended their lead, and they now have an advantage of 5-0 in Potsdam. So they would win game 1 of that playoff series if they hang on to the 5-0 lead. They're just beginning the third period of play. Also, the other women's games, Quinnipiac blanks Princeton 7-0. Harvard edges Yale 2-1, and Cornell leads St. Lawrence early in the third by the score of 1-0. Those are the women's side scores. So Clarkson women, if they win tonight, they're up 5-0, and they win tomorrow at 4 o'clock at Sheila against the Dartmouth Big Green women. They would, for the second straight year, host the Women's ACAC Championships at Clarkson's Shield Center. We'll have more ticket information if tonight's women get that far. 2 in the books here, and on the scoreboard, brought to you by our friends at Canton Potsdam Hospital, caring beyond medicine in the North Country it is. RPI 3, Clarkson 2. This is CSEA, Clarkson Golden Knights hockey.
Whether you're struggling with a new or chronic condition, Canton Potsdam Hospital's experts in physical, occupational, and speech therapy will work with you to improve your functioning. cphpt.org. Canton Potsdam Hospital, caring beyond medicine.
Scott's Auto Center in Potsdam. Stop by for a test drive and let Larry Martin help you save thousands on a low-mileage, nearly new vehicle. And for service, Scott's Auto will keep your vehicle running better and longer. Scott's Auto Center, by the bowling lanes on Market Street, Potsdam.
The ice and snow are brutal. Lives are at risk. Ruben is a snowplow driver.
It's pretty dangerous out there. Trees might be dropping limbs, blocking roads.
Plow operators like Brian are highly skilled.
We've had some real bad snowstorms where we worked right around Clark.
CSEA members like Ruben and Brian are clearing your roads for safety to give you the edge on ice. When you see them, slow down, be patient. Give them room to give you the edge on ice. A safety message from CSEA.
Now back to the Clarkson Golden Knights hockey second intermission report on B99.3.
Out-of-town scores are brought to you by A&W Restaurant, A&W Root Beer, Long John Silver's Restaurant, Route 37 in Ogdensburg. Here it is 3-2 RPI, end of 2. Here's some not very fortuitous stats when we come back to the game recap. Other scores around the league: Brown 3, Cornell 2. Brown had a 3-zip lead. It's Yale 2, Colgate 1, Quinnipiac 3, Harvard 1. So Quinnipiac would clinch the league title with a win. They had to clinch the tie. St. Lawrence on top of Union, 2-zip, end of 2. And not much to report on Princeton Dartmouth. Can't find that score either on College Hockey News or on the ECAC site. So somebody may have it somewhere, but I've not seen much on that. So that's a big one for the Knights if they are going to come back and win this game. And do more. Trying to chase Dartmouth for 6th in the league standing. That's a long way to go for that. Trying to hold on to 8th and stay at home for the playoffs in ECAC hockey. The Knights looking to jump in the ECAC playoffs, and a win tonight or a tie tonight would clinch the number 8 seed. It means they would host maybe RPI next weekend in the ECAC playoffs. 2 in the books here, and RPI has the lead on the Canton Potsdam Hospital scoreboard. We've played 2. It is RPI 3, Clarkson 2. This is CSEA Clarkson Golden Knights hockey.
Ready to head over to St. Lawrence Federal Credit Union, honey?
All set. Wait, you're wearing pajamas.
I thought I'd dress appropriately to get one of their comfy home loans.
Okay, I'm sure they'll be impressed. And bunny slippers, too. Adorable.
Visit St. Lawrence Federal. They have great fixed, adjustable, and short-term mortgage rates to make you feel very comfortable about getting into your dream home.
I'll drive.
Why?
Because you're wearing a sleep mask.
St. Lawrence Federal Credit Union. Equal housing lender. Federally insured by NCUA.
Whether you're struggling with a new or chronic condition, Canton Potsdam Hospital's experts in physical, occupational, and speech therapy will work with you to improve your functioning. CPHPT.org. Canton Potsdam Hospital. Caring beyond medicine.
Only $2 for any size A&W root beer float? That's right, only $2 for A&W root beer made fresh in store. Limited time only at participating A&W restaurants. Prices may vary, tax extra.
Do you have a big event coming up and don't have a caterer? Call Aramark Dining Services at Teal Arena for wedding receptions, customized catering menus, pre-game buffet in the Barbin Room, or any other special event. Aramark and Teal Arena provides award-winning food services for your event.
CSEA members are first in the storm, so safe drivers have the edge on ice. Hundreds of skilled, experienced CSEA workers are out there clearing the way for you. So when you see them working, give them the edge too. Don't drive too close. Help keep them safe.
Your home of the Clarkson Golden Knights, B99.3 Sports.
Game recap here from Houston Fieldhouse. Here's what we have. And all the scoring came in a wild first period of play. 4:07, Victor Liljegren on a wrap from the behind the goal beat Steve Perry. Curati and Papavestas get the assists. Frenchie's forward time of the goal, 4:07 of period number 1. Knights then got a 5-on-3 power play. Almost a full 5-on-3 is a minute 56. They scored late in it, but they scored. A.J. Fosson's 5th of the year. His second power play goal. Tansy and Joe Zarbo get the assists, and that gave Clarkson a 1-1 draw. Frenchie Chevrolet time of the goal, 6:51. Then at 13:17, Frenchie's forward time of the goal. Pat McEnany's 5th of the year from Houghton and Joe Zarbo. That was not a power play goal. It came just moments after the power play had expired. Wood was off for, or Borbonai off for a high sticking. It came 7 seconds after he got on the ice. McEnany from Howden and Zarbo. 2-1 Knights at 13:17, but RPI come back 44 seconds later. Drew Melanson from Miller and Nanny at 14:01, and then the Frenchies 4 times the goal, 18:10 in the first. McGowan 6 from Neal and La Liberté. RPI 3-2 after 1. That chased Steve Perry. He had 7 first period saves. The Knights outshot RPI 14-2 in period number 2. Lewis stopped them both. No power plays in period number 2 for either squad. And that's where we stand after 2 frames. It's a 3-2 RPI lead. End of 2 here. The Knights 0-13 when trailing after 2. Engineers 6-1-1 when leading after 2. Knights also have not had much luck in his career when Pat McEntee scores a goal. Knights are 1-11 when he scores, which is unfortunate for him because he's a heck of a player and heck of a nice guy, and we wish his dad well recovering back in the Toronto area for a minor medical scare. We hope he's doing better. Also, so to A. George Davis and Matty from Watertown. Can the Knights come back here as the ice is waiting to settle here? Still some water out on the ice. So Union being shut out by St. Lawrence tonight. Opening phase of the period brought to you by Casella Waste Systems of Potsdam. Gervais against Miller, Neitschemauer left to right, and Zarbo pokes it in, takes a hard bump there from Bradley Bell. Dumped in behind the Engineers net. This line's had a lot of jump tonight. Zarbo 2 assists, his 3rd career 2-helper game. Kirati up the boards up the wing side. Chipped in by Nanny towards the Knights goal, but to it is Geiger. Off the boards and net from McEntee. McEntee in on sides as McEntee towards the net, and Zarbo tried to hang up on sides, and backing was Luke Kirati, and Kirati's going to win a lot of battles given his size. So offsides call the Knights. Pirog, Christian, and Danilo out for the Knights. In behind here, and to it is Bradley. Engineer Schrader to his left for Lildrigan, and on side. Lildrigan carries, makes a move around Howden. Howden gets his feet back and plays it to the corner. Lildrigan dumped to the boards by Howden. Knights have not been whistled for a penalty in this game. Just that they were early. It's a 4-on-4. Little power play for the Engineers. Out comes Amorosis, pass too far from Danilo. Flip back in by Leonard. Engineers change. Knights reset behind their net. A minute gone, a minute or 19 to go in the third. Knights down 3-2. Danilo on the right wing side. Loose puck, and to it is La Liberté, and on sides. He will carry to his left, force it deep behind Amorosa. Howden back on it for Amorosa. Amorosa will slide it deep in behind his goal now for Howden. Howden, nice pass up for Sambino. Pirog keeps it alive. He's in offsides. He and Vino retouch. Wilson back to his right. Propavesis, good-looking freshman D. Down the ice, RPI called for icing with a minute 34 gone in the third.
RPI Hockey would like to thank the Recovery Sports Grill for their support. Fans, you can take your game ticket to the Recovery Sports Grill at the Hilton Garden Inn in Troy.
Face off inside Engineers end. Engineers had a lead at Cornell evaporate. They've got 9 wins since mid-January. Vino with a bit of a shot, knocked down on a Fossen stick by the Engineers. Engineers 6-1-1 when leading after 2 periods of play. Tansey pulls it at Kasdorf. He will be forced to cover up and hang on. Another offensive zone draw for the Golden Knights. In the face-off category, Clarkson are 22-18. Nobody particularly hot for the Knights. We're set for another offensive zone draw. Dalpay to face it off. One high stuff for DeHaas. His shot off the hosel to stick wide of the goal. He'll back in behind for Dalpay and Yannick Aslan. Powers to it, left wing side. Forces man to the boards. Loose puck for Aslan on the corner for Dalpay. Pokes it for Powers. Behind him, Kirati. They shuck to the ice there Kirati shucks Aslan to the ice. Puck played down the ice. Tansey back to it. Icing waved off. He'll play it around the net for DeHaas in his own territory. DeHaas up the boards. And DeHaas took a hard bump there. He is shaken up now. And now Tansey into his man as DeHaas is shaken up. And Tansey making an instigator here. DeHaas was kneed to the ice, and he's still down. The initial penalty called on the Engineers. But Tansy came well in behind into RPI's Jimmy DeVito. So while we settle it down here, we'll take a break. Scoreboard brought to you by Canton Potsdam Hospital. RPI 3, Clarkson 2. This is CSEA Golden Knights Hockey.
Only $2 for any size A&W root beer float? That's right, only $2 for A&W root beer made fresh in store. Limited time only at participating A&W restaurants. Prices may vary, tax extra.
So Wood got into James DeHaas, who was able to get off the ice, but he's shaken up a knee-on-knee hit. And then, DeVito, I should say, DeVito takes the penalty. DeHaas was down, the Knights were carrying the puck, and then Tansy skated behind DeHaas and went into DeVito. They're still jawing in the bench area. Let's see what happens. Seth Appert, they got a 5-minute major on the Engineers' DeVito and 2 on Tansy. It's a major for kneeing. And a chance here for the Knights. He gets 2 for roughing.
RPI's 20, Jimmy DeVito, 5-minute major for knee. Time to both penalties, 2 minutes, 20.
Clarkson in 3 minutes.
Clarkson, Tansy.
Now Lildgren and McGinnity are not playing well with others.
20 of RPI. DeVito, 5 minutes for knee. Both at 2:22.
And Mike St. Lawrence finally drops the puck. Howden will roll back in behind. Knights on a 4-on-4 here. Leonard up his left wing side. Out come the Engineers. Miller fades right. Backhands it in wide of Amorosa. Lildgren to it against James Howden. Amorosa off the boards from McGinnity as time. He will be slashed at there behind the net by Lildgren. Tripped along for Amorosa. Quick wide pass for Gervais with McGinnity driving. Gervais in onside. Deep to the corner for Pat McGinnity. He will be worked off of it by the Engineers and Chris Bradley. Gervais into his man now. Down the board. Kick free for the Knights. Gervais. A bad angle shot. Safe made out of the corner by Engineers goaltender Jason Kasdorf. In minute 13, the 4-on-4 as Clarkson's a 3-minute power play. It's a major power play. Out comes Geiger. Ramped in by Danilo, chipped away by the Engineers to the line and down the ice. Icing will be called against RPI. 16:35 to go in the third. 57 seconds remain in the 4-on-4. RPI 3, Clarkson 2. All the scoring came in the first period of play. It was Fawcett and McGinnity for the Knights, answering a Lildgren goal. Then RPI got 2 in 4:09. Melanson and McGowan. Then all to face it off the wing, and now the referee dropped the puck by accident. Bubella upset, but he didn't mean to drop the puck. Left wing side on the face-off in Engineers' end. Danilo loses the face-off. Engineers poked away by Joe Zarbo, left wing side. Up the boards, Luke Curati. RPA up a goal, 3-2. Howden. Geiger to keep it alive now. He couldn't keep it in. To it is Matt Neal. Rolls it into Clarkson's zone. Back on it are the Knights. Up comes Jeff Danilo. Deep behind for Summers and Geiger. Chased ahead by Joe Zarbo. Time and space. Zarbo hooked at from behind here. Pokes it along for Summers. Towards the net. A shot and a pad save. High to be there. On the boards comes DeHaas. DeHaas back on the ice. He will carry in the backhand. DeHaas carries to the right wing boards now. Hooked against the wall. DeHaas falls. Danilo has it for the Knights. Left point pass for Summers. Summers. Right to a pass for Danilo, and he misses the net. Off the back of the goal it comes. Danilo behind the goal for DeHaas, right wing side, and 8 seconds of power play starts for the Knights. DeHaas high slot now. Towards the goal off the back glass. Kicked down by the Engineers. Kicked high to the air now. And Summers is the backtrack. Has brought ahead here by the Engineers. And Dubella. His shot tipped out of play. 2:54 of major power play time for the Knights. They got a 5-on-3 goal, did the Knights tonight. Tying the game at 1. They're trying to retie the game on the power play here. Offensive zone draw for RPI, down a man. Miller to face it off right wing. RPI 6-1-1 when leading after 2. Knights 0-13 when trailing after 2. Including an overtime loss last Friday against Dartmouth. Face off to the Engineers now. Leonard will roll it back in behind. Amoroso will stop it behind his goal. The Knights will break it out here. They got a major power play, 2:40 to go in it. Geiger to his left for Vigneault. A soft up in for Gervais. Bradley back to it. Around the net, kept alive by Amoroso. On the backhand, Amoroso will hold it and pitchfork it along the boards for Fawcett. Deep in behind for Gervais. Gervais bounces it back left point for Paul Geiger. Across for Amoroso, pressured up high off the boards for Vigneault. Vigneault out of the pile now. Vigneault leaves it along the boards for Fawcett, right circle. Fawcett down below the goal line for Gervais. Back for Sam Vigneault. Vigneault up top. Vigneault will hold up top now for Geiger. Towards the net, off the backboard. Gervais on the rebound. Gervais behind the RPI net. Left point pass and it's too wide of Geiger out of the zone. Knights will reset here with Geiger waiting. Knights bring up new forwards now. Ahead for Fawcett. They'll retreat for the Knights. 1:50 to go in the major. Summers, Danilo, Pirog, Aslan, and James DeHaas with it for the Knights. Knights down 3-2 here. 14:20 to go in the third. Aslan outside for Danilo, driving towards goal. Wait, shoots, bad save. On the rebound, Danilo forced to the board, drops it around. To it is going to be RPI's Matt Neal. He'll flip it high to the air, back down the ice. McGowan chasing Summers behind the Clarkson net now, off the board for DeHaas. Poked in behind by DeHaas for himself for the Knights. 6 minutes gone in the third. Clarkson down 3-2 here. DeHaas finds Yannick Aslan on the red line. Aslan in on sides. In for himself. Bradley to it. Poked along by Aslan. Poke free for Pirog. Stick tied up by Miller. Aslan rolls it back to the high slot for DeHaas. DeHaas waits to his right for Aslan. Right wing corner for Danilo. Danilo rolls it back for Nick Pirog. Right circle. 58th on the power play. DeHaas towards the goal. Pad save made. Off the glass and out. Well, chance that. Developing very well for the Knights. Zarbo, Fawcett, Tansey out for the Knights here with this. DeHaas to his right for Joe Zarbo, in on side. Zarbo going to make a move around Kirati, couldn't do so. The Knights keep it alive. Geiger plays it back towards the goal. One by the Engineers, they'll roll it back into Clarkson territory. 13-13 to go. It's going to about do it for the Clarkson man up. Knights down 3-2. Tansey a rush. Will move to his left. Up the board for Joe Zarbo. Bump back for Geiger. A high flip into the right wing corner for Vigneault. Bourbonnais up the boards for Neal on his feet. Neal backhands it back down the ice. And that'll about do it. The RPI fans will be on their feet. Knights are down 3-2. 12:47 to go in the third. Geiger. Ahead for Gervais. In on side. Gervais on a backhand up top for Geiger. Backhander towards goal and a pad save made through a screen as the power play expires. Gervais behind the goal. Rolls it deep for Fawcett, right wing corner. Fawcett poked off it there by the Engineers. Out comes Miller. And RPI with a burst. Schrader backhand it back wide of Lewis. Will dive and cover it up and hang on. Well, that will break. 12:22 to go in the third. RPI 3, Clarkson 2. This is CSEA Golden Knights hockey.
Scott's Auto Center in Potsdam. Stop by for a test drive and let Larry Martin help you save thousands on a low mileage, nearly new vehicle. And for service, Scott's Auto will keep your vehicle running better and longer. Scott's Auto Center, by the bowling lanes on Market Street, Potsdam.
Face off left wing here, one of the Knights in their own territory. Amoroso up the board. Knights had a 5-minute major, turned into 3. Amoroso off the glass, high to center, knocked down by the Engineers now. Knocked back for Amoroso again. Against the boards for himself, for Gervais. Gervais to his right, ahead for Clarkson's Pat McGinnity in on side. McGinnity will roll it deep in behind for Todd Christian. Up the long right wing corner now. Gervais slashes along. It's going to be chopped back in. Melanson, who has a goal tonight, a high flip down the ice. Onside here for Bourbonnais. He'll wait, pass across, and it's chopped tipped by Geiger's stick, or Amorosa's stick wide of the goal. Amorosa, wearing number 44 up the ice for McGinnity. Along now for Christian right wing. He'll roll it in behind. Get it wide of Wilson. Knights change forwards. 11:30 to go in the third. RPI leading 3-2 here in Albany, or in Troy, I should say. Up ahead of coach the engineer Schrader for Lildrigan. At the net, looking for a backdoor pass. Off the boards for Vigneault with some speed now. Vigneault on the left wing side. He's poked off it by the engineers now. Loose puck won by Clarkson's Troy Joseph. Onside here for Fawcett, deep for Vigneault. Vigneault's shot towards goal will ramp into the netting above the goal off an RPI stick. Out of play, 11:02 to go in the third. Knights down 1-0 off the bat at 4:07, and Lildrigan's goal. Foster and McGinnity, but Clarkson on top 2-1. At 6:51 and 13:17. That's been it for Knights offense. They're down 3-2. He's trying to avoid another one-goal loss here. 11:02 to go in the third. Vigneault against Miller on the faceoff. Left wing circle, and it's won by the Engineers. Up the ice left wing, a high flip. Knocked down by Bubella, poked along for Fawcett. A circle up his right wing side. Fawcett in onside for Vigneault. Now he's offside after the retouch. Geiger across for Summers. In the reach of Summers. In for Josephs off his skate. That's right offside. RPI got a stick in the lane there with 10:41 to go. In the third, RPI 3, Clarkson 2.
Selling out of New York City and New Jersey and include Cruise Express shuttle transportation in all packages. For reservations,
Union has come back and tied the game against St. Lawrence. They scored a couple goals. Amorosa rolls it in around behind with 10:35 to go in the third. Curati bumped deep, one behind the net for Jeff Danello. Danello forced to the wall there, left wing side. Held along by Pirot. Amorosa thought about stepping into do so. La Liberté plays it wide of him now, back down the ice. Back to it as Howden poked ahead. Out comes Todd Christian, left wing for the Knights. To the red line now, RPI blue line. Christian down the left wing board, bumped by Neal. Deep for Nick Pirot. Back for Christian, left wing half wall. Bumps it back for Amorosa. Amorosa wrister towards the net, knocked out in front. Rebounded back in and away from Christian by the Engineers off the glass over Howden's stick back down the ice. Amorosa on it for Clarkson at his blue line. He'll survey. Knights change a forward now off the board for Deneau. Rolled back in behind with Pirot. Chasing is Ben Dalpe with 9:50 to go in the third. Clarkson down 3-2. Fawcett and McGinnity the goals for the Knights. RPI holding behind their net, trying to hang on to the lead for their first win since January. Onside for Nanny. Nanny overskates the puck here against Clarkson's James DeHaas. Shots in favor of the Knights significantly after a 14-2 advantage in period number 2. Nanny digs right wing corner. Out comes Clarkson's Kevin Tansey to his right for Jannik Aslan. Aslan in on side. Carries down, back off for a shot by Dalpe. Shoulder save made. Off the backboards behind the net. Prapavesis around for Melanson on his left wing for RPI. Poked free in the neutral zone. Won by Nanny and rolled back in behind. Knights goaltender Greg Lewis, who came on after the first period of play. 13 shots for RPI, 30 for the Knights. DeHaas. His pass stolen here by Lildrigan in his first goal, and onside. Lildrigan carries to his right against Zarbo. Spins back to the high slot. Lildrigan gets one towards goal. Lewis is safe. Rebound, they take away, and it's going to be kept out of the net by Clarkson's Greg Lewis with 8:44 to go. And Lewis keeps the game at 3-2 right now. Getting a replay here, and the puck kicked free. It never crossed the goal line, we don't believe. Or maybe it did, let's see. Lewis went in with the rebound, it was kicked twice, and then you never see it.
Previous play is under review.
You never see the puck where it is. They're reviewing the play right now, but as I look at things, I don't believe they can call it a goal. It's a key review right here. 3-2 is the lead for RPI. Schrader was in the crease area. The puck just kind of disappears under DeHaas, Lewis, Tansey. You see the puck once on the line, then you never know where it is. And then he's forced into the net here by Liljegren in there also. So showing it a couple times in the high angle replay here. It appears once and it's still in the blue. Another angle here as puck rolled dangerously towards the Clarkson net and goal line. But man, you never really can tell if it went in or not. And they wave off the goal.
Officials have ruled no goal.
So the Knights survive that chance. They need a point, just one goal to tie the game. In order to secure home ice. Knights down 3-2 win the faceoff. Summers poked away behind his net. Gervais follows it up. Up the boards for Joe Zarbo. Now ahead from McGinnity left wing. McGinnity will fade right. Ball back in off Leonard's stick. Shot back in below the goal line for Gervais. Played around the Engineers goal. Geiger pokes it back in deep for Joe Zarbo. Zarbo 2 assists tonight. Up the boards for Summers. He'll pinch to the right wing side. Kept alive by RPI now. Gervais back on it below the goal line. Down the wall comes Paul Geiger behind the RPI net. Still loose for Joe Zarbo. He'll roll it back on the ramp and it hops over the stick of McGinnity. Foot race forward here. Won by Liljegren. A shot! Saved by Lewis. A rebound poked away by the Knights' Pat McGinnity as Summers will possess the Knights. Up the ice for Gervais. Gervais will hold it in front of the Knights' bench. Knights trying to change here. It's loose along the red line. RPI wins it. 7:45 to go in the third. RPI leading 3-2. The dump in wide of Howard. Amorosa back to it. Chased down here by Mark McGowan. Around for Fawcett. Off the wall and out. RPI in offside. Fought up here by the Knights. And Fawcett across for Amorosa. Onside here for Sambino. Vigneault high slot. Poked off his stick. Knocked back down. The ice icing will be called on the Engineers. With 7:22 to go. RPI late in the second when they were outshot 14-2 called their timeout. Face off right wing as the Knights move in the offensive end. Vigneault to face it off. One for Howden. Howden out of the corner. Moves it up. Right point, a shot tipped high to the air, left wing corner to land. Neal up the boards against Sam Vigneault. Will it be another night when the Knights do a lot of things right and are unable to survive? As the Knights able to win it in the neutral zone. Amorosa up his left wing boards now. Onsides for Foster. Wall back in behind Kasdorf. Poked away for Troy Joseph left wing corner. Joseph's out of the corner now. Keeps it in his feet. Vigneault and Foster wait. Joseph's out of the corner left wing side. Forced to the board here. Joseph's out of the corner. Joseph for Foster. For Howden. Howden. A shot! He scores! James Howden beats the goaltender Kasdorf and ties the game at 3 with 6:42 to go in the third frame. What a shift again for Josephs, Foster, and Vigneault. .13:18 will be the official time of the goal for James Howden. His second point, third goal of the year. 3-3 the score. Miller knocked away by Danilo in the offensive end. Danilo poked off his stick. Flipped back in off a leg. Caught up and followed up here by Bradley. RPI now tied again at 3 with the Knights. Howden the goal. Puck rolls wide of the net now. Bradley out the boards, forced along by DeHaas, won by Tansey. Off the ice for Dalpe. Dalpe left wing side, rolls it back in behind Pirog, and Danilo Chase. Up the wall, Knights change D. Slap back in by Summers, and retouching is Pirog with 6 minutes to go in the third. Knights 3, Engineers 3. Liljegren plays it off Summers' leg back into the Knights' end. Out comes Paul Geiger for the captain for Knights. Offsides for Joe Zarbo. Wink wide for McGinty and onside. Back in toward the goal. McGinty falls into the boards behind the net. Looks back to his feet now. McGinty on the corner. Worked free here by the Engineers. Gervais to the line, and out comes Liljegren to his right with numbers now. Bubella. Cut pass back off for Papavesis. Rolled back in deep for Milos Bubella, with Schrader waiting in front. Papavesis, high slot right, rolls it back in behind. Gervais a man down here as Summers ties up. Engineers out of the corner. Poked away by the Knights to the line, and not out. Alive here by Papavesis. Penalty coming on Clarkson here. Knights to be called for holding. Extra attacker on. Wilson, roll the goal line. Here's a power play. Labor take. Could not keep the puck in the zone now. Zarbo chasing. 5 minutes to go. Finally touched by the Knights. They'll be down a man for the first time in the game.
At 13-18.
15-18 was the 14-18. Sorry, 13-18 time of the goal. Knights be down a man, however, with Zarbo called for a penalty. First power play of the game for RPI. Knights a strong penalty kill in the league. Knights 3, RPI 3. Booking the call on Zarbo. Puck loose left wing corner of Knights end. Dalpe on the PK. Behind the goal for Liljegren. High slot for Bradley. Bradley to his left for Papavesis for Bradley. Bradley high slot. Lefty shot fades left. To his right now for La Liberté. Back across for Papavesis. Roll the goal line. RPI holds now. Back to Papavesis left circle. He'll hold and pass to the corner. Gets a return pass here from Melanson, and he can't handle the pass. A foot race for it. Dalpe chasing, and Dalpe will poke it along the wall. Papavesis back to it. Knights have killed off some time here in the PK. Houghton across with Geiger with time, and Geiger will wait and flip it back into RPI. And caught by Papavesis. Should be a hand pass. Violation waved off. It was off his glove, not possessed. Good call there by Joe Carasone. 1:03 to go in the Scots auto center penalty kill. 3:55 to go in the third. 3-3 to score. Neal to his right. Pass blocked there by McGinty. Neal again. Retreats, forced back by Gervais. Curtis Leonard for the Engineers. RPI fans urging on the Engineers with his man up. Bubella right wing board, roll it back in behind, and it bounces out in front, and it rolls over the stick off the crazy bounce for Leonard to left point. No one knew where that puck was. Off the boards is Leonard at the right point. Moves to the high slot, fakes a shot now to his right. 25 to go in the power play for RPI. Leonard waits. 3-8 goal shot towards goal. Pads it to Lewis. He'll cover up on the rebound. Bubella waits in front. 3:16 to go in the third. 3-3 the score. .20 seconds to go in the Zarbo penalty. Face-off won by the Engineers. At the right point, Leonard. Kicked away by Tansey. Back to the right side for Neal. Up top for Leonard. He'll fake to his right. At the net, knocked down by the Knights. Loose puck given away. Backhander saved by Lewis. Rebound pulled free by Tansey with 3 to go on the power play. Big stop by him. Now Tansey melts him in against the boards. Loose puck out of his zone and comes for the Knights. Chasing down the ice now is going to be James DeHaas. DeHaas into the corner will hold and leave it deep with Zarbo back onto the ice. 3-3 to score, 2:45 to go in the third. Neal left wing. Neal on the backhand, knocked down by Howden. Won by Foss. Rolls it back in behind for Amorosi. Up the boards for the Knights between Joseph and Vigneault, and Curati pulls it free. On the wall, past Schrader. Icing called on the Engineers, and bad icing on RPI. 2:26 to go. Knights have tied the game on Howden's goal at 13-18. Howden from Josephs and Foss. Houghton's third of the year. Face off left wing here. Vigneault, Josephs, and Fawcett. 2:26 to go. Fawcett, Amorosa, high slot shot, and a shoulder save made on the slap shot by Terrence Amorosa. Kasdorf chested it right into, or shouldered it right into his glove. That allows RPI to change. 2:22 to go. 32-18 of the shots in favor of the Knights. They are down. We're down 3-2 to begin the third. Have tied the game at 3. Right wing face-off is Vigneault. Right point for Howden. Down for Troy Josephs. Left point now for Amorosa. Back for Josephs. Back for Howden. His shot blocked in the corner. Kept alive by Howden, right wing corner. Bumped along there by Miller. Beat for A.J. Fawcett. 2:07 to go in counting. Josephs to it left wing side. Moves up the board. Josephs off a check now. He'll turn and wait. Josephs towards goal. Keeps it along the pile here in Kirati's feet. Put through by Schrader. Schrader hit by Amorosa, playing to the Knights bench area with 1:54 to go in the third. Clarkson has tied the game at 3. Knights have tied the game at 3. Union now leads against St. Lawrence 3-2. Summers on his right, rolls it back in behind the goaltender Kasdorf. 3-3 to score here. High drum with 1:44 to go. Gervais, Josephs, or Zarbo and McGinnity. McGinnity deep for Joe Zarbo. Zarbo looks in front for Gervais. Back into the line and out by the Engineers now. They come with numbers. Nelson gains speed left wing. Nelson to the corner now. Looks in front for a pass across the goal mouth. And Gervais pokes it free. Loose puck for Summers. Up and out he comes with it for Joe Zarbo. Zarbo gains the red line, and he will bring it in onside. Zarbo will carry to the right wing corner now. Zarbo backhands it out in front, blocked down back right behind the net, hit by Kirati. Papaves is hit by Pirog, deep for Zarbo. Won by Danilo behind the RPI net. Danilo in front for a chance for Pirog. Left point he comes for Tanzi. 1:05 to go. Tanzi wraps around the Engineer goal, right wing corner for Jeff Danilo. Danilo shouldered off the puck there by the Engineers. Gorbanek, loose puck for Pirog behind the RPI net. Won by Danilo. Danilo back for Pirog. A chance! Pad save made on Pirog. Oh, if he could have lifted it, he could have won the game. Great feed from Danilo. 52.6 to go. The Knights pressing for the go-ahead marker. They've tied the game at 3. Face-off left wing as the Knights move. Gervais on the face-off. Took the Danilo on the face-off with Christian and Pirog. Engineers slap it around. Liljegren down the ice. Icing will be waved off. One to the corner here by Bubella. 41 to go in regulation. So 3-3 tie here. Knights need a tie to advance. Now Tanzi knocked down. Loose puck for Pirog up the side. Where is it? Chased down here by the Engineers. Victor Liljegren. On the corner now. Knocked away by Pirog. Won by the Knights and Danilo. Off the boards for Pirog, right wing. Pirog. Off the wall for Danilo. Put back into the neutral zone. Pirog will slap it back in RPI zone with 17 to go in regulation. RPI holding behind their goal. So they're right for Schrader now as Vigneault falls. 5 to go. Schrader in on sides. Amorosa off the boards and out for Vigneault. Vigneault to the line, and he will drop it back off at the neutral zone. That'll do it. As we go to overtime here. At RPI. RPI 1-0-1 in overtime. The Knights 1-0-2 in overtime, I should say. Yeah, 2 ties. Facing overtime once again. Overtime not kind last Friday. Clarkson seeking their 3rd win on a Friday night. This year, or check that 4th one, they're 3-8-3.
Saves in the third period.
Announcing saves in the 3rd period. Lewis had 6.
Cats North of RPI 7. 3 period totals. Steve Perry and Greg Lewis combined for 15 saves. Jason Katzdorf with 30 saves in net for the Engineers.
Kasdorf had 23 3 after 2:30 going to overtime. Game recap here, only one goal in the third, 13-18. The Frenchies forward time of James Howden's game-tying marker is third from Josephs and Fawcett. Fawcett a 2-point night. Josephs now 15 points. James Howden an assist and a goal so far. Knights will face it off and move from our right to left, opposite way. The Knights outshot RPI in the second period by a strong margin of 14-2.
Go out there and take it.
We are going to overtime here. We thank you for bringing us along tonight on CSEA Golden Knights Hockey. Clarkson facing RPI. Christian Danello. Pirog out with DeHaas and Tandy the blue line. Opening face-off of overtime brought to you by Casella Waste Systems. Schrader, Bubella, Lildergan for RPI. 3-3 the score here. A tie gives the Knights at least the number 8 seed. On the boards, Christian poked away from it, followed up by Danello, in onside. Danello hooked that right wing corner against Leonard. Left deep for Pirog. At the net off an ankle. Pirog chasing the rebound. Pirog for a wrap across and it almost went in the net. Left point for Tansey. Towards the goal off the leg. Out comes Lildergan with it. Down the ice here against James DeHaas. Lildergan in onside. Waits. Spied by Tansey. Poked free by Pirog back down the ice. Good 30 seconds for the Knights in the OT. Reversed from Prapavesis for Curati. Back for Prapavesis. Knocked away for Tansey. Up for Brett Gervais, right wing with time and space. Gervais hooks it at the goaltender. Kasdorf brought around to the left point for Amorosa. He'll serve it back in behind the RPI net. McEnty bumped along by Curati. It's thrown to the boards there. Out come the Engineers over Amorosa's head. Icing signal for and waved off. Amorosa back to it. Reverses for Howden with time. Up the ice for Joe Zarbo. Back for Howden. He will turn to his right for Terrence Amorosa. He'll make ice to the right wing side. And outside for Gervais. Poke deep for McGinnity with 3:45 to go in overtime. Knights win it. Joe Zarbo left wing corner. Zarbo looking for a wrap. Right wing side. Zarbo turns and shoots. Pad save. McGinnity a rebound. A shot by Gervais. Another pad save made by the goaltender Kasdorf, who's been stellar tonight for RPI. Off the boards, down the ice. Icing will be called against the Engineers. 3:25 to go in OT. Clarkson building for a goal if they can pull it off. They're going to overtime right now, tied at 3, or they are in overtime, I should say, tied at 3. It's a chance they're on a wrap by Pirog, and the save made. It was loose and pulled off the goal line by an alert Zach Schrader. Left wing face-off for Vigneault. Vigneault, Foss, and Josephs. Josephs creeping in the face-off. He's asked to back up from the middle of the net. And now they're going to remove Vigneault. And Josephs will face it off. One by the Engineers, Prapavesis. One by Vigneault behind the goal. Poked in front, knocked down. Back for Vigneault again, right wing corner. Vigneault. Right wing side, looks for a backdoor pass. And Summers on the back end, across, knocked down by the Engineers, and they have numbers going the other way. Ahead for the Liberté, he forgets the pass. Mullinson can't win it, one by the Knights. Summers to his right for Josephs with speed. Josephs in onside, waits, shoots, sends glove down by Kasdorf. 2 minutes gone in overtime. Game tied 3-3. Knights need a tie to cinch 8th, at least in the league, at home ice next week. Game tied at 3. 3 minutes to go OT. Christian off the pile. Shot, save, rebound, and Danello shot off an RPI player. Engineers to the line and out. Brought ahead here by Bourbonnais. Knocked in wide of Kevin Tansey. Bourbonnais wins the race to it here. Poke deep to the right wing side for McGowan. He had the third goal for RPI. That was back in the first. McGowan out of the corner. McGowan across the goal mouth. It's off a leg and back into the neutral zone. Leonard turns to his left, rolls it back around behind Lewis. Gets a piece of it behind for Kevin Tansey with the Hawks. Tansey off the boards now for Pirog. Off the boards for himself. Pirog down the wall, right wing side, icing waved off. Christian chasing 2:20 to go in OT. RPI pull the goal to that point for Amorosa. He'll wind and shoot. Well, down in the air. No traffic in front. Left point shot by Amorosa. Love down 38 shots on goal. 39 now for the Knights. Left wing face-off. One eventually for McGinnity. He hasn't pulled free of him. 2:05 to go in OT. Engineers hold up and out. Leonard to his right for Bubella. Served it in behind. Amorosa chasing up his right wing boards now. Amorosa off the wall for McGinnity. Loose puck along the boards. The left wing as RPI moves. 1:45 to go. It's a great atmosphere. RPI and the Knights tied at 3 in overtime. Amorosa cross check, no call. Howden out of his own territory to his right now for McGinnity. Down the ice for Zarbo in on sides. Zarbo behind the RPI net. Zarbo looks for a trailer now, forced it aboard. Zarbo 2 assists tonight for Gervais behind the goal. Gervais leaves it for Troy Josephs. Josephs up the right wing wall now. Josephs moves in front, poked off his stick, brought ahead by Bubella, won by Josephs again. Backtracks across with 1:13 to go in overtime for Summers. Up the ice, tipped in by Fossen. Wide of Kasdorf. Fossen wins the race. Leaves it in front for a chance for Vigneault. Back across, looking for a cutting. Troy Josephs knocked away by the Engineers down the ice. Icing will be called. Waved off in the last minute by the linesman. Out comes Geiger. A minute to go in OT. Behind that for Summers. Summers bumped. Up the ice for Geiger, right wing. Geiger down the wall now. Geiger backhands it in for Fossen towards goal. Prapavessis back to it. Up his left wing side. 40 to go in OT. Prapavessis on the right wing side. Rolled back in behind for Melanson. Stopped by Tansey. Tansey up the wall for Pirog off his leg and out. 30 seconds to go in OT. Game tied 3-3. Knights need a tie for home ice. They've got it right now. 24 to go. RPI down the ice. Ramped in wide of Lewis. He will be out of his net. Play it back up the wall now. Won by Pirog. Vigneault eats it on the board here. 13 to go in overtime. Left point. Stop the Engineers now. Leonard fakes to his left. It's LaLiberte, knocked down by the Knights out of the zone, 5 to go. LaLiberte now will bring it back in onside, and the Knights will have home ice for the ECAC Hockey Playoffs with a 3-3 draw here at RPI. James Howden, the game time marker. And the Knights are going to tie, and they'll be home for the playoffs. Greg Lewis, the tie-in goal for the Golden Knights. And Clarkson survives a strong first period by the Engineers. And the Knights will be home next weekend at Shield against maybe this very squad from Rensselaer. Final score tonight here on the Canton Potsdam Hospital scoreboard. It's a tie, but what a tie for the Golden Knights. Their 5th of the year, 3rd league tie. Clarkson, 3. RPI, 3. This is CSCA Golden Knights Hockey. The post-game show comes your way next on B99.3 FM Potsdam.
Only $2 for any size A&W root beer float? That's right, only $2 for A&W root beer made fresh in store. Limited time only at participating A&W restaurants. Prices may vary, tax extra.
Casella Waste Services, making it easy to recycle with zero-sort recycling. Simply place all your recyclables in one bin and bring it to the curb, conserving, renewing, and sustaining the world's limited resources. Casella Waste Services, your first choice for dependable and affordable waste services.
Do you have a big event coming up and don't have a caterer? Call Aramark Dining Services at Teal Arena for wedding receptions, customized catering menus, pre-game buffet in the Barbin Room, or any other special event. Aramark and Teal Arena provide award-winning food services for your event.
Sounds like the newspaper's here, honey.
Yeah.
So, are you going to go out to get it?
Well, I did it last time.
No, I did it last time. It's your turn.
All right, I'll get it. Toss me the keys to the forklift.
Okay, that's good. Now, set the newspaper down on the table so I can read it.
For those with physical limitations, accomplishing simple daily activities that most of us take for granted can become painful and challenging. Whether you're struggling with a new or chronic condition, Canton-Potsdam Hospital's experts in physical, occupational, and speech therapy will work with you to improve your functioning. We even have specialists in vestibular rehabilitation and orthopedics. Schedule an appointment today in Potsdam or Canton and get back to living. cphpt.org. Canton-Potsdam Hospital. Caring beyond medicine.
Get ready for the Clarkson Golden Knights Hockey Postgame Show, featuring a recap of the game you just heard, highlights, out-of-town scoreboard, and the Golden Knight of the Night on B99.3. Now, with the postgame show, here's Bob Offeld.
A wild affair here at Rensselaer as the Knights and RPI play to a 3-3 draw. With the tie, Clarkson will be home next weekend and maybe against this very squad. See how things go in the league standings shake out here, but here are the game highlights for you. Steve Perry, the start in the Clarkson net for the Golden Knights. But Victor Liljegren got this first goal of the game in a wrap that beat Perry on the glove side, giving RPI an early 1-0 lead. On the faceoff against Bubella, Knights will lose the faceoff, chipped in behind for Curati. Curati spins back and delays here with 34 to go in the man up, or the 4-on-4, I should say. No score in the contest. Out comes Curati. Cuts to his left around Christian. Curati in on sides. Curati looks for a backdoor pass and holds left corner. Bumped in behind here for Liljegren. Out in front for a shot and he scores! Liljegren walks out of the corner and beats Perry. And Liljegren gives the Engineers a 1-0 lead. As I mentioned, that gave RPI the early 1-0 advantage. The Knights were then kind of joking earlier in the week with Coach Jones and some others. I couldn't remember the last time Clarkson got a 5-on-3 where they got one in style. With Wood called for hooking and then a high stick called on Leonard on the face-off. Knights had a 5-on-3 power play for 1:56. It took them a while, but they got this goal to tie the game at 1 for the Golden Knights and A.J. Foster. Second power play, 1-0 RPI on top. Knights have a 5-on-3. Zarbo, Vigneault wins the face-off. Geiger, Tanzi, and a shot off the backboard looking for Foster. Foster will try to bump it back, and he can't do so. RPI tries to clear, and they are able to. Quickly across here for the Knights. Tanzi for Zarbo in on sides, right point. Zarbo delays and holds. Left point pass for Tanzi from Geiger. They'll reverse now. Geiger, right wing corner for Zarbo. Zarbo looks away from the net now. Zarbo will carry that a high slot pass up top for Tanzi. The reverse. Tanzi to his right. Tanzi a shot, save, rebound, and a goal! Fawcett scores on the rebound of a Tanzi shot in the 5-on-3. He ties the game at 1 for Clarkson here in period number 1. Fawcett's 5th of the year. Tanzi and Joe Zarbo get the assists at the Frenchies forward time of the goal. 6:51 mark of period number 2. Period number 1, I should say. And the Knights had tied the game at 1. It was so late that Clarkson had about maybe 10 seconds to go in the second power play. They get a 5-on-3 power play goal, tying the game at 1 for the Golden Knights. We move on later on in period number 1, and Clarkson begin to assert themselves somewhat through this first frame, and they would take the lead on a goal from the man who missed last weekend with injury. Clarkson Jr. Pat McGinnity scores this goal to give Clarkson its only lead of the game at 2-1 in period number 1. Pirog to his right for DeHaas at the right point. DeHaas brings it down the boards. DeHaas holds right half wall. James DeHaas to the high slot, carries. DeHaas was up to wrister towards goal, pad save, and the rebound out the right wing board. Amoroso kicks it off the boards and out of play. And the faceoff will remain in RPI territory. Kasdorf now has 9 saves on 10 shots. 4 seconds remain in the Clarkson man up. Win the faceoff for Howden. Howden, right point, a shot, never got through in the feet for Gervais, couldn't find it. Won by Clarkson's Joe Zarbo. Up top for Howden. Howden, a tip, and a goal! Pat McGinnity after the power play expires. McGinnity's tip over Kasdorf's shoulder. The power play expired. Howden shot for the right point, finds McGinnity, and he scores, and Clarkson takes a 2-1 lead. 13-17 the time of McGinnity, and for him, he also scored his 5th of the campaign, and he was out with injury last week. And McGinnity from Howden and Joe Zarbo, 13-17 the Frenchies forward time of that goal. And the Knights had a 2-1 lead, but RPI came right back at 2 in quick succession. 44 seconds later, Melanson scoring from Miller and Nanny at 14:01. Then at 18:10, McGowan on a line rush from Neal and Ali Bertet. RPI led 3-2 after 1 period of play. That score would remain through period number 2 as the Knights outshot RPI 14-2. But could not dent Jason Kasdorf. And Clarkson, who replaced Steve Perry with Greg Lewis. Lewis only faced 2 second period shots. Kasdorf stopped all 14. We moved on to the 3rd. Clarkson had a major awarded a kneeing call against Wood, or DeVito, I should say. Tansey chased down DeVito. That cost the Knights the full 5. They had a 3-minute major power play. Did not do a whole heck of a lot with it, and you wondered if that would cost the Golden Knights in the game. And then a few moments later, with 8:44 to go, and RPI leading 3-2. This, the Aramark Food Service save of the game. Lewis 8 saves in the tie, and this was the Aramark Food Service save of the game for Greg Lewis. The play was under review, but he kept another net. This, the Aramark Food Service save of the game for Clarkson Jr. Greg Lewis. Right now, getting a replay here, and the puck kicked free. It never crossed. On his left wing for RPI. Poked free in the neutral zone. Won by Nanny and rolled back in behind. Knights goaltender Greg Lewis, who came on after the first period of play. 13 shots for RPI, 30 for the Knights. The Hawks. His pass stolen here by Liljegren in his first goal, and on sides. Liljegren carries to his right against Zarbo. Spins back to the high slot. Liljegren gets one towards goal. Lewis is safe. Rebound, they dig away at it, and it's going to be kept out of the net by Clarkson's Greg Lewis with 8:44 to go. And that play reviewed, but that was the Aramark Food Service save of the game for Golden Knights goaltender Greg Lewis. Don't forget Aramark Food Service. Before every Clarkson home men's hockey game, you can come to Shield Arena for their fabulous pregame buffet, and of course getting near catering time as well. The Knights pressured throughout the 3rd, out shooting RPI 8-6. This, the only goal of the 3rd period after the first period at all, from Clarkson senior James Howden, and this tied the game for the Golden Knights and gave them home ice in the upcoming ECAC playoffs. This goal by Howden tied the game at 3. Vigneault to face it off. One for Howden. Howden out of the corner. Moves to the right point. A shot tipped high to the air. Left wing corner to land. Neal up the boards against Sam Vigneault. Will it be another night where the Knights do a lot of things right and are unable to survive? As Knights able to win it in the neutral zone. Amorosa up his left wing boards now. Onsides for Fossum. Wall back in behind Kasdorf. Poked away for Troy Joseph's left wing corner. Joseph's out of the corner now. Keeps it in his feet. Vigneault and Fossum wait. Joseph's out of the corner left wing side. Forced to the boards there. Joseph's out of the corner. Joseph for Fossum. For Howden. Howden. A shot. He scores! James Howden beats the goaltender Kasdorf and ties the game at 3 with 6:42 to go in the third frame. Frenchies forward, time of the goal, 13-18. Howden's third of the year from Josephs and Fossen. And that lifted the Golden Knights. They would dominate the overtime by shooting RPI 4-0. And the Engineers mounted a little threat, a few little ones, but this, the last moments of the game, allowing the Golden Knights to return to Cheel for home ice next weekend with his tie tonight. Here's the final moments as Clarkson wound out the 3-3 draw. It's La Liberté, knocked down by the Knights, out of the zone, 5 to go. La Liberté now will bring it back in onside, and the Knights will have home ice for the ECAC Hockey Playoffs with a 3-3 draw here at RPI. James Howden, the game-tying marker. And the Knights going to tie, and they'll be home for the playoffs. So as we said, the Knights home for next weekend's playoffs, and they will very well could face this very squad next weekend. When we come back, we'll have our Golden Night of the Night brought to you by Between the Buns, our out-of-town scorers, and also wrap things up here and have our interview with